Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's gonna make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, got it.
Keeping it 100.
He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and latest. Debaters, draws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. We have 2 fucking games.
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth. You see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it
man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Four-letter network on the planet. The tape never lies. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Become a patron today. You're missing all the draft mob goodies, everything that we got going behind the scenes. You're missing out. Become a patron today. www.thetapeneverlies.com. It's going to be a sick show tonight. We got Adam Rank from the Sick Podcast going to be talking Bears and NFL draft with the boys. And speaking of the boys, let's go ahead and bring them out. Shane, the smartest man, Marcel, and DDP. Draft Dr. Phil.
We are here.
Not sure what the little technical snafu there was when Ivan first came out.
I thought his internet froze.
And then he had a
We're gonna have to clean that
different clothes on, and he was freshly shaven. And then
How did you do that?
Yeah.
I don't
like
know.
David Blaine.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. YouTube is acting all sorts of crazy lately.
All sorts of crazy. Rank's not impressed with the magic.
Yeah. He's prepared for a cornerback.
He wants a guard at 10.
Let's go get our guy and let's talk some football, man.
Let's bring him out right out the gate. You know him. Our first ever guest here at TTNL on the very first show that somehow got copyright claimed.
That was the first one right out the gate. Yep.
Still getting dinged.
That one was actually a strike, the first one. Yeah.
Yes. And the reality is he's always there in our corner. He has done things for this network most won't do because integrity is important for this guy. shouting us out, whether it be on the NFL Network broadcast or on another show. He's a true loyal friend. Let's bring him out the way we do here at TTNL. A minute and 33 seconds of Adam Rank.
Keep it 100.
Hello, everybody. This is NFL Network's Adam Rank, and you're now.
At this point, this guy doesn't even need an introduction. But we're gonna give him one anyway. We already know he's every Bears fan favorite analyst from the NFL Network.
Come meet me at Portillo's and let's get it on.
Versatility is the name of the game, and he has it in spades. Regular season, fantasy season, NFL playoffs, free agency, and the NFL draft. He's got it all covered. Bears fans, TTNL fans, get up out your seats and give it up for TTNL royalty.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
He's the guy that made TTNL Network's own Bear.
There he
I
is.
like the corner. I like the corner better. I feel like I need to reshift my desk to go back. Looking through all the various different stages of the way the studio was built, like where it was a barren wall for some time, and now it's grown. We got the butkus over here. We got some hats. I got a Cannonball Run here, hat here, doing all sorts of stuff. I want to start off by saying, though, I don't understand how Lions fans did they watched the playoff game against the Commanders, yeah? And they're still convinced that Jared Goff is this great quarterback. They talk about him like he's like to say anything negative about Jared Goff is akin to going up to a Chiefs fan and being like, Patrick Mahomes, no, not so great. Like they put him in such esteem. They don't think that the coach matters. They're like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that we lost Barrett. We lost Ben Johnson, Antoine Randall. Jared Goff's still going to be fine. Is he? Is he going to be fine? I'm not so convinced. So people get so fired up. And by the way, and I also love the Packer fans. I've been known to exaggerate for effect. I know that Jordan Love is not a 10-year veteran, but he is closer to that than he is a rookie. He's going to turn 27 this season. He's entering his 5th year in the NFL. Stop acting like he's some second year. They act like he's been in the league less than Caleb Williams.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
No.
Right.
He was in the same draft as Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa. Who else am I missing? Somebody else pretty. I think actually, was that Trevor Lawrence's draft too? Yeah.
Number one.
Like all these guys, like we're getting a pretty good idea who he is. So I know I have the audacity of wish casting that Caleb Williams is going to be the best quarterback in the division. I would even say when you look at the degree of difficulty with what he was given, if you would have given Caleb Williams 2 years to sit there in a Matt LaFleur offense and then given an opportunity, rolled into a throne of ease and allowed and not having to work with Shane Waldron or the shoe salesman.
You go.
By the way, I'm offended for shoe salesmen. I was out buying shoes, and the shoe salesman was more knowledgeable about NFL football than Matt Eberflus, and yet you still besmirched the name of that fine institution of hardworking individuals who know ball and just happen to sell shoes. Like, I don't know why you got to go after them, Phil, but in any event, how are you guys? Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Comes out the gate with a rank rant.
Yeah. He was
I just had to do it.
He was a little flatlined in the green room, but he was just
God,
he was waiting.
I don't waste the show in the green room.
Right.
You should know by now the showmanship is I'm not going to sit there and wait. We could have spent 20 minutes in the green room. I dial it back.
Yeah.
I dial it back also because I'm back onto the comedy circuit. So anybody in the Rancho Santa Margarita area of Southern California, which is Dove Canyon, Coda de Casa, they're putting me on this show. By the way, they put me on this show, and they're like, "Hey, it's a Coda de Casa, like whatever, Rancho Santa Margarita." So I know what the room is going to be like. I know what the audience is going to be like. You don't have to tell me, because the booker was very much, hey, by the way, like this crowd is going to be, a little old, like no shit, like old white people. I know, like I have eyes. I know what it's going to look like. I know the jokes. You don't have to tell me. Don't talk about this. Don't talk. Like now I'm a moth to a flame. Like that's what I'm talking. Don't talk politics. Like, yeah, I'm talking politics. Don't swear. I'm cussing within the first 12 seconds. Don't challenge me on this stuff. Just trust me as a human being to look out and be like, and I've been in these spots where, listen, I go down to sports bars. I know what plays. I know what buttons to push. I go to these retirement communities. Oh, I'm charming at them. I'm telling anecdotes about my kids. I got it. Just don't put the binders on me. Kind of like the way that Matt Eberflus wouldn't let Jalen Johnson, play his preferred version of quarterback. I need to be set free. I need to be trusted that I can go out there and get things done.
Look at you.
Love it.
Double. I thought all the rants were reserved for me.
I almost started playing your DDP rant.
Should have put the music on for it.
Yeah.
Better put the music on. That's okay.
It's 3rd and 2. 3rd and fucking 2. And we're in the shotgun. Oh, by the way, this network for fucking 8 years has talked about how important it is to get your quarterback under center. And all of a sudden, Ben Johnson, who happens to be in the beginning, so he's in the batter's box, swinging the donut on the bat of being a head coach so far. So I'm ready. He's doing all the right things, better than any of his predecessors, especially talking about how important it is to get your quarterback under center and understanding the front and how to use his footwork to match up and marry up with the patterns and his head and the importance of the run game. And oh, by the way, they built the middle of the offensive line. How important it is to build
They're
the
not going
middle
to skip
out.
steps along the way, like Ryan Pohl said. Yeah,
let's
may have
draft
overlooked a couple of things.
Let's draft a left tackle and put him at guard. Let's see if we could do that. This Chicago Bears analysts, not rank, all these frauds I listen to daily that don't know football, don't know anything, and are praising the likes of Tyler Warren at 10. That's okay. Like, what world are we in? Membu. He couldn't shine the shoes of Will Campbell and especially the number 1 offensive tackle in this draft, ladies and gentlemen, Calvin Banks Jr. That's who is the number 1 pick.
Is Calvin Banks an offensive guard coach?
Some people think Banks is a guard, Dad. What would you say to that?
I think they're assholes.
There you go. That's how we analyze here. Truthfully.
All right.
Hey, Banks, yes. Membu, no. Genty, yes. Hampton, no. Should we go down the list, Adam?
What are we going down the list of guys that? How about Mason Graham? Where do you guys stay there?
Love him. I think he is my. Phil and I were talking about this earlier. My gut feeling is that everybody's been pushing him to Jacksonville at 5 or right in that area. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be available to Chicago at pick 10 on draft day.
I 100% agree with that, because I think that we're going to see a heavy offense run. And I don't even think, and Shedeur Sanders is not going to be, Shedeur Sanders is not a top 10 pick, but I do believe not only when you look at like Tyler Warren, I think the good thing about everybody talking about Tyler Warren is I honestly believe that Jacksonville is an ideal spot for him based on, what happened with the success of guys like Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers. Jacksonville needs a little bit more punching up in their offense. We love Brian Thomas Jr. That was an excellent pick last season. They got very fortunate with that because teams passed on him. I remember in last year's version of the mock draft with a twist, I don't do a predictions piece. I do this is who you should draft piece. And I told the Jets, like, take Brian Thomas Jr. because your guys are going to get fired if you don't score points. And they didn't listen. They took a tackle. It's fine. But they needed Brian Thomas Jr. to go along because then they end up drafting or trading for Devontae Adams. And, that whole S show goes the way that it goes for the Jets all the time. So I look at this for Jacksonville, and not only do I think that Jacksonville needs to look at Tyler Warren, I think Carolina would be another option for Tyler Warren, or even if Loveland is available to them.
Loveland's the better tight end.
I have two tight ends. My recommendation is two tight ends in the top 7. Selfishly, and I'll admit this to everybody here because we're all friends. I always try to set it up for the player that I want to go to the Bears. Like, don't take. Hey, listen, Saints, you got to take the wide receiver. Take the Texas receiver. Well, who is it? Marcus, not Grant.
Golden.
Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden. He actually kind of projects a little Chris Olave-like to me. So if one of those teams was like looking out for somebody, I really actually kind of like him. But I think that like we're going to see a run of offensive players. I think that the both tight ends go before the Bears draft.
Really?
I think we're going to see. I think it's a copycat league. You cannot look at the success that Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers have had immediately on these teams without these executives now be like, okay, now we need our tight end. We need that. Jacksonville definitely needs it ever since they let Evan Ingram go, which is fine. That probably was for the best. But I think Carolina's also in the mix too, because unless they think that the Bears are going to trade Cole Kmet to them for the Greg Olsen 2.0 trade, you got to go get a tight end as well. I mean, Carolina did a great job last year kind of doing what we did, getting 2 guards in free agency. They got Bryce Young a little bit more comfortable, but you look at that wide receiver room with Xavier Leggett, Adam Thielen, the Cokehead. Sorry. But he's there. That was his. Listen, he acknowledges that nickname. Jalen Coker. You're like, God, they need a wide receiver. They really do. Like again, if they don't get Loveland, they could go with Marcus Golden. And so, like, I think a lot of these offensive guys go off the board, and I truly believe that Will Campbell and Mason Graham could be a choice the Bears have to make, and I'm down with either one of them.
Banks
or whoever. He's
over Campbell here. On this
also a great player. Like I get
Campbell is second to Banks when we're looking at left tackles, and I know there's a lot of. I don't even know what this is, but watching the tape of Membu, we call it the Membu line, and it's completely based on what his athletic scores and
100%. Yeah, the combine.
When you watch the tape of this player, it's not like it's not talent. So guys like Nate Tice, whatever, I just call them out because the tape shows me that you're not looking at this correctly. We see a guy that quits, that's lazy, that doesn't finish all the time. It's so inconsistent, the effort. The athletic talent is there, but you've been down this road, especially in Chicago, where you're teased by somebody's traits, but the way they play the game is not the same. So that would be my question to you. Is there somebody that's my, like, Bears at 10 draft this guy, I'm just completely destroyed. I will lose it on television live as we're covering it. And I will know that this front office does not put tape and character and effort like they say they do first. Is there someone for you at that position that you'd be disappointed in?
For me, it would. There's really not anything that's I don't know. There's not a player that's really struck a chord with me that way. I think a lot of it has to do is like we're not in the mix for either one of the quarterbacks, which is great. Don't have to worry about that one. I think some of the guys like Jalen Walker is a good player if they wanted to go back and fortify the edge. The tight ends feel like luxury picks still, but I would prefer that they're looking inside the trenches. I understand. Ashton Genty, again, I'm hoping that he goes third overall. I hope the Giants pick him. And then, like, we don't even have to think about it. Like, it would be such a great thing. Like, people are like, the Giants would never do that. I'm like, do you know the Giants? Like, of course they would. Like, an organization that's, like, scrambling for a little bit of juice in the New York market could easily take Ashton Genty. Be like, see, we got a replacement for Saquon Barkley.
That
Never
would
mind
be
the
a
fact.
better pick for them than Hunter.
Did you hear? I don't know if you listened to the Adam Schefter podcast, but did you hear his breakdown of the top three? And
No.
He said as of 2 weeks out, he was talking about how he's expecting it to go. Obviously, everybody knows Cam Ward number one. He
Yeah.
said no quarterback in Cleveland at 2 as of right now.
That makes
Travis Hunter
sense. Travis
And then-
Hunter to the Browns?
to the Browns. Yes.
If they passed on Abdul Carter,
Yep. No,
I don't
he
know
said-
what I like.
Abdul Carter, man, he's
You not like him?
I like him. He's my number 2 edge in this whole draft.
Yeah, Phil and I both have Mike, and Ivan also have Mike Green.
Mike Green is the number
over
1
him.
pass rusher, D end in this draft.
Non-stop
Khalil Mack.
promoter.
It
Non-stop.
is on the tape. It's every patron was just drooling. Like if the Bears picked Mike Green at 10,
Yeah.
I would be totally understanding that they're buying into putting animals on the field again.
Yeah.
The last time they won, Adam, and were quality each and every Sunday, they had the likes of Dan Hampton, Steve McMichael, Richard Dent, Otis Wilson,
Yeah.
and Wilbur Marshall, Mike Singletary, Dave Dewerson, Gary right
Well,
on
did you-
defense, right? Are any of those guys choir
Leslie
boys?
Frazier.
Any choir boys that I just list off? No, they were party animal. They were badasses. They played with passion and also a little devil on their
Yeah.
shoulder, right? The Mike Green thing and a lot of drafts have been directly hindered by one Muffin Man McCaskey. And because you have an owner,
Why?
I'm just
Come
telling you.
on.
I'm just telling you.
Why are we not past this now?
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Oh, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. The
It's
McCaskey. Listen, I thought when they went out and got Ben Johnson, I thought we'd settled
You
this.
said the same shit when they went out and got Matt Eberflus.
I did
and
not.
Matt
No,
Nagy-
God, no.
Yes.
God, no.
Phil-
Eberflus, no.
Phil, be easy, Phil. Matt Nagy's
I
coming.
was saying, listen, I was willing to give Matt Nagy or Matt Eberflus
Which Matt?
the Eberflus the benefit of the doubt. I really like Matt Nagy. I still like him. Like the fact that Matt Nagy is still polite to me is astonishing. I thought that was really. Thought we had a moment at the Super Bowl.
Did you, you had him.
But is he a great head coach? He wasn't for the Bears.
Some people
so-
aren't head coach
Fine,
material.
and there's nothing wrong with that. And I again,
And George has been directly responsible for hiring several of them.
yes,
He's
but
also hindered the personality of the Bears. You can't deny that. Now, Ben Johnson, okay, we're gonna give
Here we
give
go.
him a shot, Adam. but you
we're
can't
starting
just
to cook with gas here.
say, okay, but will he do it with personnel? So a guy like Mike Green has some off the field stories,
Yes,
right?
Yeah, well, it's him and Pierce. Listen, Phil, you have to.
James Pierce as well. Yes.
Yeah, Pierce. You have to vet all of this, and that's not just a George McCaskey thing. You can't just be like, he's great on tape. Fuck everything else because we need a badass in here. It's clearly got to be. You're giving these guys top 10 guaranteed money also, so you have. It's a big part of the process. I totally understand what you're saying, but you can't just say. You can't just piss it away and pretend like it never that it's a non-issue. That's why they hire all these private investigators and they talk to these guys, English teachers from the 6th grade on, to see who they are and what they are, and why did he leave Virginia? You know, and they're going to figure all of that out.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%. I'm just saying history has showed, and all you have to do is look at Hard Knocks, Adam, where they weren't allowed to be authentically them because George didn't want cursing.
On a television show.
Sorry, Mr. McKay. I'm sorry, Mr. Muffin.
On a television show. As
On
a persona that you're
HBO.
putting out, as a persona that you're putting out on the television show, he didn't want to do it. Just like this comedy booker who is asking me not to curse, and that's fine because that's his show. That doesn't change who I am. He still booked me. He knows who I am. He knows my act. He's seen it.
Him going to HBO.
but is it a bad reflection on the Chicago Bears franchise if you see in practice Andrew Billings say, "Fuck you, dude"? You know,
get this motherfucker out of
this
here.
mother out. Is it
every
really a
person
bad
in the
reflection
world
on
knows
Do you need that? Is
Yes.
that what you need? I need the
I don't think
uncut
anybody needs it,
version.
but it's the environment, and everybody knows that it's going on. And when you restrict that, you're forcing the fakeness to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not authentic. It's a baby. It's childish.
It's still a television show that's being produced by a documentary company.
Oh, you're too nice.
No, but I mean, like, this is what we want to, like, I can't,
grown men.
like, listen, I can't go on Fantasy Live and be like, oh, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'd never start this motherfucker. Like, no, you got to work within the parameters of what people are setting up for you. Dude, the NFL Network would still have the same safe harbor rules. It's on cable. It's not a network. It's not like I'm on CBS.
Adam,
But
it's
is it-
never been done
I guess
ever.
this way though, is it weird that that's a priority for the owner of the Bears?
I mean,
and your on-field product hasn't been the number one priority, but swearing.
I still think that winning is his top priority.
But he's just
swearing.
not
I don't want swearing on television is different from, like, we're not trying to win. They went out. Listen, nobody thought that they were going to pay the money to buy out the rest of Matt Eberflus's contract, and they went out there and they did that. Nobody, even our friend Peter Blutarski, was like, "There's no way the Bears hired Ben Johnson. They would never pay that money." No, the Bears paid that money. They bought land in Arlington Heights to develop. They're going to end up building a stadium there. Like, they're doing things that show that they want to be a winning organization. I'm sorry that they didn't let a player say "fuck" on HBO. Now, if that's what you need, I'll come on this show more and just start throwing F-bombs.
You say that's your thinking. For me, I completely and utterly disagree with you. When an owner is sweating that kind of stuff, think about how much more he's getting in the way of. That's how I look at it. That's the concern about bringing in guys that are actual personalities and football players that I don't know if we can take a chance on that guy. Like a Randy Moss would never come here because of George.
A lot of teams passed on Randy Moss. Like, Randy Moss fell to number 21. There were a lot of teams that passed on him. There was listen, when you think about Jalen Carter, the Detroit Lions have a maniac as a head coach. They did not take Jalen Carter. They traded out of that spot. Pete Carroll.
We agreed with that.
Pete Carroll, like, it's one of these things. It's like, look, when my boy's out there playing soccer, and I want him to play with intensity. I want him to play hard. I want him to get after, other kids and all that stuff. But I don't want him to motherfuck somebody. Like, hey, don't do that. Don't say that. Hold on, I gotta get this alarm. Son of a bitch. I thought I had all the alarms done. Hold on.
It's George calling.
Yeah,
George is telling me.
Keep it up.
He's like, get your talking points in.
You heard all those F-bombs. He's like, Adam, we got to have a talk.
George is about to motherfuck us.
The critical drinker is right.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Don't let them say bad things about George anymore.
I'm just saying.
I'll defend him still.
He will.
Listen, I still, like,
he has an opportunity.
Whether they curse on HBO or not is, like, the least. Like, that's something I wouldn't even think about. Like, that's just a preference of, like, Hey, do you want your steak well done or medium?
It's a notation.
Well done is more of a concern.
It's a notation of not being authentic. And when you're not authentic, and no other football team, including the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, has never solicited anything like that before. And it goes along with the soft culture that you've created, a losing one, with losing coaches hired. You had Bruce Arians in the building who will tell someone to go fuck themselves.
Yes.
And you don't hire him. So you see
that was an error
pattern.
That was the error. That was the mistakes. Like, I'm not going to defend their mistakes,
but then
say like, but they hired Ben Johnson. I'm sure that Ben Johnson.
This is where we go.
It's fine. And if we're never going to do Hard Knocks again, so we never have to worry about it. But like,
right.
I also think
Hard Knocks.
I also think it was something.
I'm sorry, Adam. I would say they would do Hard Knocks post Super Bowl. Super Bowl Bears would be a Hard Knocks must. I feel like.
Yeah, that makes sense. But still, at the same time, it's a television show. It's actually the fact that you're so concerned about Hard Knocks leads me to believe you don't care about other things that are going on. I could give a fuck if I'm cursing, if I get bleeped on television. I really don't. It's just like, go out there and win and do things that if we were sitting here and we had Brian Schottenheimer, okay, what would you rather have? The Dallas Cowboys, who are allowed to say fuck on Hard Knocks, would you have Brian Schottenheimer, or would you have a PG-13 version of Hard Knocks and Ben Johnson?
I just think what it is, the way that I look at it, it's not even just the swearing so much. It's just where I have an issue with the Bears, and it's been the same way for years with George and everything like that. And I think that the spending of money gets overrated too, because people are calling the Bears have spent money, and they've spent money for a long time. They just haven't spent it the right way or in the right places.
That's fair.
That's the thing. But my point is, do I need to hear the swearing? No, of course I don't need to. But it's just George going out on ESPN and making that the talking point. And I was in Buffalo and talked to the people from Hard Knocks on the sideline, and they were kind of surprised by it, that it was such a talking point within the organization right from the very top. And it's like, what I just don't get why that. I want you to make the priority of, oh, Jim Harbaugh's available? Yeah, you're goddamn right. We're going to talk to him. Be relentless that way, like you are with making sure that swearing isn't going to be a bad reflection on the Chicago Bears.
You're saying exactly what I'm saying. The footnote is, if it's happening there, it's happening so much more. And a guy like Harbaugh, oh, he's too weird. Oh, we have this or whatever. No, that should have been a priority, because it's a slam dunk, even more than Ben Johnson ever is. We don't know yet what he is as a head coach. Jim Harbaugh is a layup, and it should have happened. We can't say it shouldn't have. Look what happened. I choose him. Who? Matt Eberflus? The loser? You should have tied up with the rookie quarterback a new head coach. They didn't do that.
We might have to have Dr. Janitor on for his own show just because of this comment. Said, when I was 9, my grandmother, who at the time I thought was my mother, washed my mouth out with soap if I swore. So that just opens up a whole nother.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Virginia got really mad at him one time, and he had to do it. I think it's an overreaction to like, wait, this is the brand that we're putting that. Hold on, they're putting out a brand out there. This is the way that we want to be presented. The Bears didn't want to do it anyways. They didn't want to do Hard Knocks. They're coerced into it, and they're like, fine. Like, it's a pat. But it's not everybody wants to be that way. Like, this is an older family-run organization.
Business. It isn't, oh, we're an old
The
organization.
Bears are still making money. They're still making money.
100%. That's the point. Don't you?
But they're just like, you know what? This is the way they want to conduct themselves. Like, I've sitting here and talk to comics who are clean or whomever,
You know why
Seinfeld,
you
any of
don't
those guys.
You know why you don't want a camera there? Because you're a phony. Because you don't want to see phoniness. I was around them. That's all I saw. And the brand is as big as it possibly can be. There's no arguing that. They have so much fans and so much to give. The best uniform, Chicago, the history,
Yeah,
and everything. It should not be this. It should be Jeffrey Lurie style. Do anything and everything to win. That is the job. And maybe now that Kevin Warren's there, that's going to happen. Maybe Kevin talked him into
George isn't going anywhere anyway. So you're going to have to get. We got
another
all have to
100
give him
years.
the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, exactly. He
The
doubled down on
Hallis
that.
family is holding on to the team.
100 years.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about this fucking draft. It's more important anyway.
Yeah.
I like the debate.
So
yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Adam, is there you and I were chatting a little bit pre-show. Is there a direction that you absolutely don't want the Bears to go? Or if they get to 10 and they have a corner for Michigan as their best
Will
player
Johnson's available. Yeah.
And
if that's on their draft board, and honestly, like it's something that they've shown in the past that is a priority to them, is that they want to make sure that the defensive secondary is fortified. Now, obviously, they put a lot of money into re-signing and extending Jalen Johnson. That was huge. A couple of years ago, when everybody wanted them to take George Pickens and Christian Watson, they went with Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon. And so, they show that the defense is going to be a huge thing. Maybe even Campbell, the linebacker, is a guy that they go with. That's not necessarily what I would want to do. I still believe that the trenches are the way to go. I know they love Braxton Jones, and I'm like, I know that Ryan Poles loves him. So I'm hoping that if Ben Johnson has his way, if Ben Johnson wants to go with the left tackle, I hope that they will adhere to it. But I still think the trenches are the way to go. And I think that you just need to look at the Philadelphia Eagles as the team who did this. I feel like they're the one, like our best linebacker was let go by the Philadelphia Eagles, which shows you that their priority was fortifying the defensive line. I think despite the fact that we went out there and got Odangbo and we got Genty, I always say this, but we're fine. Like, I don't know that we signed guys. We even signed a couple of guards in the center. Still got to go out there and make sure that there's depth on the offensive and defensive line. Like, I'm all in on that. I hope that's the way they're looking, but not to the point of like drafting for need, where you're like, instead of drafting the best player available, and you draft for need. I think that's how teams get into trouble. And I think like a team like the Rams over the last number of years, I mean, you go back to the Rams, you go back to their time in St. Louis, when they drafted Aaron Donald, they didn't need a defensive lineman.
No.
They had Robert Quinn, they had Chris Long, they were fine. Like, you wouldn't have looked at the Rams that season and said their top priority is having a defensive tackle, but they knew that Aaron Donald was the truth, and they drafted him. And that's what I want for the Bears, is I want them to understand who the best player available is on the board, not necessarily like this is our need. Because I honestly, I don't think the Bears should feel content with just about any. Like, I don't think you can be like, we don't need this player.
Exactly.
But I think still go after the best player available. I
just couldn't do it at corner. That's my thing.
I prefer not to.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
I would say 100%.
I mean, I can make more of a case for Malachi Starks because it's a safety. That's a more relevant need than a corner. But my point is, if you draft a corner, you're writing off Tyreek Stevenson completely.
100%.
Having a future here, and that's why
Kyler Gordon.
Right. Well, at least you could keep him on the inside in the nickel. But you brought in Al Harris, who has a presence here. Let Al Harris and Dennis Allen kick some ass or kick some butt. George would want me to say kick some butt with Tyreek Stevenson and get him to shape up. I couldn't double down, and I get it. Johnson is a fantastic corner. There's no way in hell I could draft a corner at 10 the way that the way I don't see any scenario the way that this top 10 or top 9 goes where I'm taking a corner at 10.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I agree. I just like joking and twisting Bears fans and be like, I hope you're ready for it because nothing's off the board. That's the one thing.
What would you look at? You look at this roster. What is the biggest area of need? Braxton Jones might not be healthy in training camp.
Yeah.
Right?
I still believe it's the
Ron
offensive line.
Amagaji is coming off injured season, then pushed in, and people are very hard. I mean, we were the first ones to talk about, like, hold on, this guy isn't a bust. Let's look at what he was thrust into before you start talking that. So he's an unknown, we'll just say. They fortified the middle. They have their right tackle that they picked 10th. So the biggest area of need is probably left tackle, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were looking at it.
And Braxton's going to be you got to look at Braxton the same way that you looked at Justin Fields in a way. And you can like Justin, you can like Braxton, whatever. That's not even really the point. What are you willing to pay Braxton Jones? Because he's going into a contract year.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to look at it. And is Braxton Jones good enough to make you say, oh, we don't need Calvin Banks because we got Karan Amagaji is a wild card. But if Jerry Angelo was here and Greg Gabriel were still running the Bears draft picks, you know who our starting left tackle would be?
Who?
Karan Amagaji. Only because they drafted him in the 3rd round last year. That's what the old Bears did. These new Bears, in Ryan Poles getting his second chance with Ben Johnson, they can't make that same mistake. Karan Amagaji is here. He's not going anywhere. You can't write him down in pen and say, he's our starting left tackle. We just don't know. Good teams like Baltimore and Philly and Kansas City, they don't do that. If you have Karan Amagaji, is it going to prevent you from drafting Calvin Banks? No, it should never prevent you from that. Ever. That's what good
I'm with
football
you.
teams.
Yeah, that's been, I mean, I've been saying that all along. I was sitting there doing other shows, not only on my network or wherever. Like the Bears shouldn't just this is before free agency. And I'm like, even if they sign 2 guards in the center, I would not pretend that the offensive line is done because we've seen time and time again, injuries are a part of football. You need depth. You need, and it goes for offense and defense. And I think that the premium guys, and it all depends on who is left. Like, what if Will Campbell goes 3rd? What if these guys, what if like 3 offensive linemen go in the top 10 and Mason Graham slides down, or what happened? Or
you draft Mason Graham.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's an easy fix for me, or one of the edges or whatever. I don't think that anything on the offensive or defensive line is solidified to the point of like, we can't use anymore. Our roster's locked. This isn't AYSO. We're not limited to 10 players. Like, we can bring more people in. And if it breeds competition, even better. If Amagaji's got to go out there and compete with a guy who was drafted 10th overall, I love it. Same thing with Braxton Jones. I love Braxton Jones. I think he's a player. And I think I've said on this network plenty of times ago, I think he's a good NFL player. But we're not to the point that these guys are Hall of Fame players. We're like, oh, you can't draft that position. We've got Braxton Jones. No, the only place on the offensive line I would actually really say that is I wouldn't want to take a right tackle because I think we should let Darnell Wright play out.
Let him stay right there.
We do that. But anything else, even center, like whatever, like we have an extra center. That's not the worst thing in the world. And I think that the
Not
team
in round 1, but yes, in any of the draft, yes, center.
Yes.
And I agree.
I mean,
with
like,
you.
yeah.
Finally
But
agree with you tonight.
Finally. It took a while. We finally got there. So you love Jordan Love. That's what you.
No, I don't. I agreed with your rants.
Oh, got it.
In the conversation. You have Caleb Williams ranked as the best quarterback in the NFC North.
He will be. He will be. I think that listening to Ian Rappaport on Good Morning Football, I think it was today. Was it today? Whatever.
Oh, my God. Shane told me about this bullshit.
What about being uncomfortable and like working? And I just equate it.
I haven't heard it yet. So
no. I think what Ian's getting at is like whatever you learn to swing a golf club. like I'm going through this thing thanks to our friends at Golf Tech. I'm trying to break 80. And so I'm going through the thing. And like the first lesson that I took, they're like, hey, move your hands here. And then all of a sudden, when you watch the tape, because it's Golf Tech's all about tape, like, oh, I go from looking like the hunchback of Metal Arc Golf Course to like, oh, now I look like an athlete who's actually swinging this club. Whether it's good or not, it's a different thing. I think that's what we're going to be getting a lot of with Caleb is like, there's some small tweaks to get you better. But at the same time, like Caleb Williams still threw for nearly 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns. He's going to improve. Like
shouldn't he have thrown about 15 or 18 picks though? Isn't that the sentiment from the experts?
Yeah, they wanted him to throw more picks and throw the ball away more.
He's got to get away from hero ball. Can he get away from hero ball in college?
Take that fucking
drives me
analysis.
Like your guy plays too much hero ball. Like he threw 6 picks. Like what the fuck are you talking about?
Let's throw more picks.
He plays too much hero ball. Like, he was fucking conservative with the ball.
Well, he was smart with the ball.
He was
the
smart.
thing that they were saying, the narrative was opposite. He wasn't.
But if he had thrown 12 or 13, 14, 15 picks, what would they be saying? He's got to cut down on these turnovers.
He's intercepted. He's reckless with the ball.
He's a hero. He plays too much hero ball.
Just imagine if Peyton Manning had thrown 60 picks his rookie year, how good he would have been, right?
Oh, yeah. Would have been
Peyton
way
Manning,
better.
how many interceptions his rookie
Peyton
year?
Manning.
28, right?
Don't bring up Peyton
28.
Manning.
28.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning never won a Super Bowl, though. He was on 2 teams that won Super Bowls, but he did not win a Super Bowl. He did not beat our Bears in that Super Bowl. By the way, like you want to if you ever get a chance, and it's not talking to like Reggie Wayne or somebody, not talking to Reggie Wayne. But I always remember being like, I go, Reggie Wayne, would you agree with me that the MVP of the Super Bowl, you could have said Dom Rhodes, but I think it was the turf of grass that kept tripping up our secondary. No, that's not. I'm like, bro, your boy Peyton wanted to throw that Super Bowl away so bad. He didn't get a chance until he played the Saints to finally show going up against the Seahawks. That is my like whenever it's like, what do you really think about Peyton Manning? Like watch the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. I remember being there and just when he was walking into the stadium, some producer I used to work with, his name was TD, and not Terrell Davis, but a guy, TD, St. Michael, St. McDan, whatever. He's like, oh, Peyton Manning looks locked in. I'm like, what feed were you just watching? He looks like this is the last place he wanted to be was MetLife Stadium. And God bless Daniel Jeremiah walked into the room right after that. And he's like, Rank, it's like, you see Peyton Manning? Guy looks, not even knowing the conversation that we just had, but knowing how he knows my feelings of Peyton Manning. He's like, oh, he looks like, I'm like, I told him. I just said that. And I was standing next to a guy from KOA radio station in Seattle. And like first play of the game, it's really loud at MetLife Stadium, really loud, kind of cold, and like the Seahawks fans were just going bananas. And I go, you know what would be the most Peyton Manning thing in the Super Bowl? It's like, what? I'm like, a pick 6 right here, first play of the game. And then the ball goes over his head. I'm like, or that, either one of those things. Absolutely it. But yeah, like the narratives towards Caleb, like there's nothing he could have done. Whatever he would have done, they would have said the opposite was the best thing to happen.
Totally agree.
And I don't know if it's going to get any better. I really don't. It's the most, there's several things that in the last 2, 3, I would say 2.5 years that I've seen football wise with so many hot takes and analysts out there. The Justin Fields versus Caleb thing, then the Caleb thing, and now this draft has been the most. I'm like, what tape are you watching of Membu putting him in a top? Like, I hope someone takes him up at 10. I mean, up in the top 10. If the Bears take him, that's my line. I'll know that they don't. I
don't think he's even if he drops a little. I don't think he'd get past the Jets at 7 if he dropped.
I hope.
I think we're fine. I don't think we have to worry about it.
The
He's got
other
a potty mouth too, so we're not gonna draft him.
Oh, there it is. Just tell George. He swears a lot. You guys are gonna be.
Can you
fine.
release the smoking video before the draft, Adam, like you
With the
did
gas
with
man.
Tunsil.
With Laramie
Don't
Tunsil.
torture us.
I
Thought we were
remember
gonna draft him.
there was somebody. I was sitting in a green room with somebody who had a connection to somebody with the Dolphins at the time, and it was one of the NFL Network guys.
Yeah.
I might have already mentioned him today on the show. He texted Miami coach, the offensive line coach at the time, like, "Hey, what do you think about Tunsil?" And the guy's like, "I could not have been more thrilled." Like he's like, "I'm so not worried about that bit. Like this guy is such a stud." And to think that he's already on like what is its fourth team? Like he's on Washington. I don't know why Tunsil keeps getting traded, but that's a good football player. And it just shows you, like, listen, if you do the gas mask bong, you can still play football, and it shouldn't matter.
The gas mask bong never stops. Anybody.
That was pretty surreal to see that. It was literally 15 minutes before the draft went live. Yeah.
We trade up. I'm on the phone with Lauren Cox of
Yeah, it
what
was
does he
Leonard.
do?
We went from
Tear
11
down
to
today,
9.
whatever. His podcast.
We jumped the
I'm like,
Giants.
we're getting Tunsil, baby. I was going crazy. I'm like, yes, this mother. He fell.
Is that what we were gonna do? And then we got Leonard Floyd instead.
We drafted Leonard Floyd.
And
Leonard Floyd was my membo.
Daniel Jeremiah
Floyd.
live on air when the Bears made the move up. He's like, wow, the Bears got Kyle Long. Now you're looking at Laramie Tunsil.
I'm like,
this is the
they
nice start to
finally
it all.
got it.
I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna do this. Then I get the text, Leonard Floyd. I knew Phil was gonna lose his
The
fucking
Muffin
mind.
Man happened. We can't
Yeah,
take
that was it. That
mess.
was. And Daniel was the guy who during a break, I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah. He's like, the Miami. He showed me the text. He's like, oh, Miami coach, no problem with that. I'm like, of course he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Good player. Who cares?
Oh my God. Was there ever a draft that you were like so disappointed? I know Shane's.
Oh my! Listen, I was at Radio City Music Hall the night that the Rams took Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
And there was a young lady named Megan Collins. We had worked the red carpet, and it's a Radio City Music Hall. I'm still bummed we don't go there because it was such. As somebody who loves like history, being in New York City, like it spoke everything for me. Just being in that theater, just how rad it was.
Too.
Everything was just so great about it. And I literally could not believe, like, I think gum fell out of my mouth. Like the Rams took Aaron, like what the, like you got it, like nothing. Because like every mock draft had Aaron Donald to the Bears. Like, and it's so funny. People don't realize, like, he was going 14th. Obviously, the Rams took him at number 13. But it was so, oh my God. And like, no disrespect to Kyle Fuller, who ended up costing us a Super Bowl. But it was just such a letdown. Like everything else was such a letdown. Like, God, whatever.
Was that your worst moment? Because I seem to remember this.
Hold on.
Adam.
We have video.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time making fun of the Browns and the Jets, and now it's come home to roost. Because you know why? The Chicago Bears have somehow found a way to out Cleveland the Browns. It's not bad enough that you drafted a quarterback. If they would have taken Mitchell Trubisky with the third pick, I would still be pissed. But you gave up additional picks for this. It's like going to Coachella and spending $20 on a bottle of water and then spilling it on the desert floor. Like, what are you doing? What are you seeing that this guy who started one season, and now he's supposed to be the savior, the guy who's going to be battling Aaron Rodgers. I can't even think of his name. Battling Aaron Rodgers and all that. It's an outrage. Like, I don't understand. Sitting at number 3,
right.
You knew you were either going to get Jamal Adams or Solomon Thomas.
Ouch.
Or even if Jonathan Allen, anybody. Like even taking Chris.
All right, he was 0 for 3 on the guys that he wanted.
I was throwing in Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, were you?
You should have got Christian
the last right when you cut it off. I was saying, like, even if you took Christian McCaffrey,
that was your life.
Oh, you were good at. listen, I cut it off. You're supposed to say, I was talking about Patrick Mahomes next. And you
No.
turned it up.
I honestly like I will say
so different.
from a football perspective, the quarterback pick in that draft would have been Deshaun Watson.
It should have been.
But not knowing anything, like if they would have taken Deshaun Watson, everything goes down with the massage therapist. All right, so he's a dick. But Mitch Trubisky was by far the worst pick. And again, like
it was going to be Watson. That's my.
I thought I was. Jamal Adams ended up being pretty good.
If you go back and watch that draft, when the Bears went up, they go up one slot. Ian Rappaport, they go to him, and he goes, "The Bears are coming up," and it's
Solomon Thomas.
It's for Solomon Tom, and I'm like, these guys moved up one slot to draft fucking undersized defensive tackle at the time.
Yeah.
We were screaming for a quarterback, screaming for one, and I was so worried about only the Bears.
Only the Bears.
We have two of you. This is what I want to avoid. Those moments.
Yeah.
I think told because Mitch was such a nice boy, they took him. I'm just saying.
No, he was traitsy. There were guys like Bucky Brooks had Mitch Trubisky as his top quarterback.
Bucky Brooks, please.
Both North Carolina guys.
The Bears taking Marion Hampton.
Oh, God, at 10.
I don't know if you could even make a worse pick at 10.
Marion Hampton.
Maurice Jones-Drew had him at 10 also.
I'd be like,
no. Maurice Jones-Drew had Travion Henderson at 10.
Yeah, he had Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Bucky Brooks had Marion Hampton, and I wanted to die. Like,
no.
The game I want to play is like, and we can't do it with you, but for us, though, devastation, draft day devastation. I've lived it.
It's going to be different this year. It's going to be different this year.
The Mitch Trubisky draft.
Yeah,
it's funny.
That's a bad one. I think Aaron Donald was worse. And now even looking
Aaron
back,
Donald, you got what Kyle Fuller there. There was
but just like Adam said,
I thought we had him.
Everybody wanted Aaron Donald. We're like, there he is.
That was it. It was too perfect. And again, the Rams
all chanting, and then they had the guy Warren Sapp there, and they took Kyle Brady.
Kyle Brady.
Oh my God.
1995.
95 draft.
So do you have a favorite in your perfect world, in your perfect scenario, Adam?
Now he doesn't. He loves everybody.
Who would be your favorite? Favorite? Like
who's your favorite?
If you could write the script for draft night,
I did it.
Number 10.
I turned it in. I turned it in NFL.com this week. Whenever I do my mock draft with a twist, and I'm mocking people doing whatever, like because it's not a predictive piece. It's not like this is what I think they're going to do. My piece is always this is what they should do. And I always maneuver it so my guy gets to the Bears pick. And I do it with Mason Graham.
Yep.
I think that Mason Graham would make too much sense.
That's your guy.
For the Bears. I think that he comes in immediately. Like he looks like a Chicago Bear. Like he looks like a game wrecker, somebody who's going to go in there and cause shit for a decade for us and just be an anchor on that offensive line. And I don't want to get complacent because we made a couple of moves during free agency. If somebody like Mason Graham is available at this point, and I think it's I think it's more legitimate than people will give it credit for because so many teams are going to be focusing on the offensive side of the football.
Traits, Adam. He's not a big, huge traits guy. You know, he's 6'3". He's kind of a squad.
That's the thing. Like him and Will Campbell will both. I think they'll both be available because the stupidness of like somebody's arm's not long enough, and you're like, we can't draft him. His arm's too short.
Watch the tape.
Yeah, just watch the tape of these players.
Watch the tape of these guys.
So I didn't get to finish this before, but when I was talking about Adam Schefter, he had Travis Hunter at 2, Abdul Carter going 3 to the Giants. And then they started talking about Shedeur Sanders and where does he go? So he said he tied him into number 9 to New Orleans or number 21 to Pittsburgh.
You know, Greg Braggs and I went full Greg Braggs.
Who?
We're-
Not smart.
He's going 12 to the Cowboys.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
That would be.
Then they can set up.
Wow.
Then they can set up Deion Sanders being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year. Schottenheimer. That's why they didn't worry about.
I have to agree. Greg said this.
Greg said this, but it was funny because I was on the show and he goes, I have a conspiracy theory. And I said, no, wait, let me write it down. And then I pulled it out and I'm like, oh, there it said Sanders to Dallas.
No matter what, right?
I said, I'm on board with this theory.
That sets up that's really.
And there we go. Mason Graham's available to us and we all go home happy.
I would be elated.
Yeah.
But that's my honestly my
gut
gut feeling he's going to be on the. I think he's better than Ed Oliver.
Yeah,
and Ed Oliver's a fantastic player.
Great player.
Yeah, I know some people hate Mason Graham, but
please hate him.
You watch Mason Graham tape and come away like that's my line. It's always the tape with me, Adam.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to go toe to toe with anybody. I don't have an agent paying me to say this. Like the kid Ursary from Minnesota is a better tackle than Membu, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The tape says that. Now, how they ran in their underwear might not say
Again,
that.
that's always the thing I don't give a shit about.
Exactly. And they always do it, no matter what. I don't know if it's
get rid of the
Twitter.
combine. Like it's such a don't because it makes us money, but
Okay.
if I'm ever in a day where I'm not getting paid by the NFL, I'll be like, get rid of the combine. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
what a dumb thing.
I want to address one other
mainly
guy.
for the medicals.
You cannot take this guy. You can't even talk. If any of your colleagues talk about this guy.
Who's the guy?
It's not a fit. I hear if the glove doesn't fit, that you quit. It's Walker from Georgia.
Jalen
Walker or Jalen
he is
Walker?
not.
You're making Samo
He is
mad.
not even in the ballpark of what you're talking about. As an off the ball linebacker,
No
he's
way.
terrible.
Not enough. Yeah.
He's fast, but he's slow in recognizing anything. He's very clunky when it comes to his reads. It's just always on the tape.
Samo's analysis
As a pass
is
rusher,
bullshit. Yeah.
He's years away from being a pass rushing elite talent. He has Leonard Floyd ability on stunts when he's free.
No,
But once he's engaged, he's controlled. He's what, 6'2"?
All you got to do is put him opposite of Aaron Donald. You'll be fine.
There you go. 6'2", 245 pounds does not fit with what it is Dennis Allen is doing. He's not a finisher. Mike Green, 5,000 times. Oh, it's Khalil Mack and JJ Watt type of fire every play.
Walker measured in at 6'1".
6'1".
Yeah.
Wow.
He's going to the 49ers anyway.
You ain't
so don't worry
taking
about
that guy at 10. I'm sorry, Sam.
He's going to go to 11. I have him going number 11 to
We
the
showed
49ers.
the tape of this guy. It's very easy to see. There's a high ceiling. It's just not there. You don't take that guy. So I'm educating my buddy Adam Rank.
Thank
I
you.
love him. These are the three guys you cannot take. Membu, Walker, and you can't even think of Amari and Hampton.
Right.
Do you have a favorite running back, Adam, for the Bears?
I do. I mean, obviously Ashton Genty would make the most sense, but I don't like taking him in the top 10. I know that people are torn. I honestly don't hate the running back. I don't know. Like, obviously, we're going to take one, and if Scattaboo is somehow available to us when we get an opportunity for that.
I love Scattaboo.
But that would be my guy.
Scattaboo?
Yeah. Later on in the draft. Obviously not at 10, but later on in the draft.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I was just talking to your boy Greg Braggs on the phone. I was picking my son up from basketball practice tonight, and Greg called me, and we were talking about Cam Scattaboo. And if he got drafted by the Bears, I think he becomes an instant cult hero in
100%.
Chicago. Yep.
And those type of things should matter when you're looking. It's a cultural
I
move.
have running backs ahead of him myself, but I understand the allure.
He's my running back 2B.
That's a cop out.
No, he's there. That's how high he is. Out of what 18 running backs, I think will be drafted and play roles. I mean, this is the deepest running back class I can remember.
Yeah, for sure.
Jaden Blue, baby.
Jaden Blue, another guy from Texas. You have any receivers you like, Adam?
I do like Matthew Golden. I think he's a pretty good player. And I was into the Arizona guy, but I got to bounce because Steve Smith Sr. doesn't like him. So I'm like, okay, I don't like him as much. If Steve Smith Sr. doesn't like him, then I'm like, all right. And I know he got into a tiff with our old guy, Bobby Wade. So I got
Bobby Wade, former Bear.
Did he fumble it?
Former Bear, yeah. He's the wide receivers coach at Arizona. So like they were going back and forth. I do like, the thing with Amika over at Ohio State. I know that him and JSN didn't spend a lot of time playing on the field at the same time. And it would be weird for them to be reunited in Seattle because I think that Amika kind of trends as a slot receiver, but that's somebody that I kind of like. But again, I don't think he's going to be available to us unless he falls down into the second round. But you never know with these wide receivers. There's actually, oh God, who was, hold on, who did I have? I had a note here. Where is my guy? Yeah, it's McMillan's the guy that I'm off of now because Steve Smith Sr. talked me out of it.
He's the kid who says he doesn't like to watch tape. I know he said it when he was younger.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a shit about tape, but that's something you gotta.
Kyle Williams got to get a lot more love from Washington State. I'm a
very
fan.
good.
You know what? I kind of like Luther Burden though.
Oh, the third. Yeah, we're gonna be breaking him down with our buddy Matt Waldman this weekend.
The
wide receiver from Missouri, Luther Burden, and a bunch of other. I think we have 8 wide receivers we're going to look at over this weekend. So that'll be a patron show.
Can't wait. But listen, I got to run though, guys. I got to go. I got to go take some kids to soccer training. Although I don't know how I'm going to get them out. Like I see them out there outside playing right now. None of these kids are going to go.
Just go out.
I got to go meet the team.
Set the tone, Adam. Go wait shit on.
Tell him you got dog jaw.
Yeah. I almost broke my son's hip with that yesterday.
We'll explain that later. Adam, check him out on the Sick Podcast.
Thank you.
See him at NFL Network. I love this guy. Whether we're debating or we're having a blast, check out his comedy show.
If you're in Rancho Santa Margarita on Friday nights at the Bell Tower. Oh, the Bell Tower. It's the Comedy Cellar of Coda de Casa.
Yeah, go over there. If you're on the left coast, check them out at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah,
are you going to have a Netflix special at some point? We got to get that.
I don't know. I've been working on it, but I can't cuss in it because of the NFL.
Well done, bro. We love you.
Leave them on a high note.
Let's get you on the game.
You, brothers.
Good morning football. That's
I know this is going into listen, I'm not gonna let you bag on George. I know where this is headed. I gotta run.
George.
God bless you guys.
Anybody.
See you, Adam.
Get him on the show.
Will do.
All right. Adam Rank. There he is.
Always a great time.
The great Adam Rank. You got to hold accountable. You can't. Oh, we forgot to get this question for him. Tony ever ready.
You can text it to him.
$4.99. I'll text him, Tony. I apologize. Hey, Adam, huge fan. I understand you're a big Howard Stern fan. Who's funny, Shuley or Stuttering John? I'll text him right now and I'll get an update on his answer for you.
Yep, we'll put it up there for you, Tony.
Put it up there because I apologize. Let me just take this pic. There you go. All right, Shano.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I have to be truthful with these people, these fans.
Oh no, dude. I get it. And is it a massive issue? No, I don't think it is, but I think your thought process is in the right, it's going down the right pathway. It's never just about the swearing. It's what else?
It's the step.
It's the tentacles. It's the
exactly.
Oh, we're not going to talk about tape right now because we're going to talk about community service, and that's got to be.
There's one jellyfish in the water, I'm gonna let my kids swim. If there's 1,000, I'm not putting them in the water. That's it. It's that one thing. It's a bunch of things. But that one thing will sting you right in the ass.
Yeah. Or you could turn it around, right? The whole MJ thing when he broke his ankle and he came back and he wanted to play, and Jerry Reinsdorf wanted him to be cautious. And he's like, Michael, you're not looking at this the right way. If you had a headache and you had 10 pills here and one of those pills would kill you and 9 of them wouldn't, would you take the pills? And Michael Jordan's response was, how bad's my fucking headache? So that's the competitor in him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's separator. That's who
that's
I
what you
am.
want. That's what we talked about that
Mm.
last night with our guy Eric Clemens when he was doing his live mock.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Great job he did.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Fantastic job. But you need and listen, I'm not talking about off field, but you need some of these players to come in with the asshole built in. You can't unleash that with a lot of guys.
I think it's already built in, bro.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
You gotta have a little bad boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and I'm not talking about Puffy, so stop.
Yes.
Take that.
Drew Black, Shane. I think they all have an asshole built in. I was gonna make.
I was gonna
make a mother joke here, Drew, but I'll give her the night off.
Say it to Ivan if you want. He had the same joke there. It's like an opposite dad joke.
I get it. I repeated it from last night, but you have to be an asshole. A lot of these guys, listen, they're alphas. I'm not saying you need to go.
Seriously, it's not just an asshole. It's like an arrogant, football loving asshole.
Yeah, fuck you. I'll see you in 40
fucking
seconds.
see you the next motherfucking play. Like
exactly
a guy that the quarterback gets hit and you go help the quarterback out. I'm going after this fucking asshole.
Yeah, Mitch says
you don't touch my fuck. And that's the culture that you're needing, not these little fucking blog boys talking about Membu and Jalen Walker and this clown show of stupidity. Let's take Tyler Warren at 10. He ain't Brock Bowers. You passed on a generational tight end.
Yeah, you can't listen. And I don't think that I think Tyler Warren is a good player, and I would be more
clear this up.
I would be more upset with the corner selection at 10 than I would be with Tyler Warren, but I wouldn't draft Tyler Warren at 10. I don't have Tyler Warren as my tight end 1. And I don't think that that's out of bounds. And if you disagree with me, I'll debate anybody on it. That's fine. And just because he's not my tight end 1 doesn't mean that he's not a good player. It's not that at all. But
you
Phil,
have to explain
if
that.
you draft him at 10, the expectation from the public from surface level fans are going to be this guy's got to come in and he's got to be Brock Bowers. And that's just simply not who he is.
He's just
never has been at any point.
Let me tell you what Tyler Warren is. He checks the box as versatile, tough football player.
He's a bully. The bull in the china shop is the perfect phrase for him.
He's gonna move the chains. He's gonna give you yak, right? Is he going to separate? No. don't see a good separator there. I see what you have already in Cole Kmet. Is he better than Kmet? People ask me. Yes. Yes. He's tougher. He's much tougher.
Blocking is already better. Beyond the toughness.
But his run after the catch ability.
I know. I agree. I agree with that. But like in particular, and you heard me, Phil. Like after I went ahead and watched the tape afterwards, the thing that stuck out to me the most, and the thing I just keep pounding about Harold Fannin Jr. is his ability to block. He's holding. If you guys see,
You're talking Fannin.
Fannin.
We're talking Warren.
Oh, Warren.
Tyler Warren. So we were talking about Warren. I don't want to confuse anybody.
I'm sorry.
Versus Cole Kmet. Fannin is my number 2 tight end in this draft. It's Loveland, Fannin, Warren.
But
that's how I rank.
To that point, you don't have to worry about a Tyler Warren because you could find a guy like Fannin later in the draft.
Fannin does more than Warren.
I'm telling
100%.
you, to watching Fannin, you think he's going to get flung across the field when he goes up against the ends, but he doesn't. He sticks the ends like if he's an offensive tackle. If the guy could be 300 and something pounds, he would be a pretty impressive left tackle. We'll say I would credit him. I mean, obviously there's going to be better players in the NFL, but if he's willing to go ahead and do that in college, I want to see what he could do in the NFL.
So do you want me to break everybody's heart? What team do I talk about a lot on these airwaves besides the Chicago
Philadelphia Eagles?
Because everybody in my family is an Eagles fan. So don't forget this on draft day. Bowling Green's head coach, Scott Loeffler, left Bowling Green.
Eddie currently is now the coach, right?
Is currently the quarterback coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles have been trying to move off of Dallas Goedert because of his money, injury history, and starting to get up there in age a little bit. And there's a lot of momentum connecting Harold Fannin Jr. at 20 years old at tight end to the Philadelphia Eagles. Just remember that on draft day. Remember that on draft day.
That sucks because that guy. Listen, I stand. All you have to do is become a patron right there. And I stand by that. And trust me, that those shows will be back up.
And
I'll tell you that in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And the reality is we broke those tight ends down like nobody else. We're not looking at highlights. We're looking at their tape, their senior year tape. Sometimes we go back to their junior year. If they're a junior, we sometimes go back to their sophomore.
Or we go to tape where the player's not even involved.
To showcase the reality of who these players are. Ivan talking about Fannin is in the guise of I will draw a circle. And these guys, I don't care where they need to be on my team. Fannin is my number 2 tight end, but he's also in that circle. That he needs to be a Bear. He's a difference maker like we haven't had in tight end ever. Maybe Ditka.
The compliment to Kmet, and we could. I think adding a Fannin would add to Kmet. Like we'll just say that. You know, you could have a Harold Fannin Jr. go in as a 22 personnel, and then go ahead and move back into a fullback position, and then go ahead and he literally could go anywhere on the field. You could keep Cole Kmet out there. You could have 2 tight ends in any fucking formation you want. Pretty much.
He's coming with a small school bias. He went to the Senior Bowl and showcased who he is. His tape versus Ohio State. All of this tape showcases a run after the cat, like Ben Coates for some of you back in the day. It's able to block. I mean, he sticks to a block and takes pride in it. And he's a great receiver that is versatile enough to play quarterback and wildcat, faster, more twitchier, a better route runner than the tight end you have on the roster that you paid millions of dollars for. As a rookie, he's a better route runner. That kind of stuff. Yeah, Texas A&M game as well. Thank you, Ryan. That he's a circle target player because it's a need, and you haven't had that, and he's better than Warren.
You have pick 72 in round 3. So if that's where you're talking about Warren or Fannin, I mean, Philly has pick 64 in round 2.
I will trade up to get him.
Just remember
my
that
first mock draft on here. You were like, you already took Arroyo, and I love Arroyo. But after watching all of the tape of all the tight ends, Fannin is only behind Loveland. Because Loveland's size and ability to run a route separates.
And he's 2 years, and you can say that it doesn't matter, and it does. And he's 2 years young. He's turned 21. Today's his 21st birthday. Colson Loveland.
That's why Loveland is my number 1 tight end. So when people are like, I'd run to the podium to take like Guy, I would shoot Guy in the fucking leg so he wouldn't even get to the podium.
Yeah.
Because that is not where we're going with it.
So real quick because we got the guy sitting in the green room. I just want to put this up there. We had talked about this, Phil, and I know you haven't seen it, but this is
I have not seen this.
NFL Network's Ian Rappaport.
I might have to react to it before we bring the guest.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Gave me a cliff note real quick. But.
Yeah. He told me, he just texted me and said, tell Phil to shut the fuck up. I've been waiting here for 45 minutes. I'm kidding. But anyways, so he's talking about, he's just casting doubt where I don't think that there needs to be doubt cast. And it's like, he had a good year, but just
isn't this guy a newsbreaker? Like, what are you analyzing?
Yeah, here we go.
Wow.
And
you're talking about real tone texture. If he was on Hard Knocks, he'd be swearing too. Because that is full. I mean, I wish we could just break this down for 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's going out of his
okay season last year.
Well, that's the thing, and everybody is so dismissive. He had some moments.
Can you put up CJ Stroud's rookie year, Ivan, next to Caleb Williams? There's a graphic, somebody did it, and put them next to each other. You're so condescending and putrid, Ian. Your tone in that is pathetic. The reality of an expectation of a coach creating an environment and a culture with accountability is a good thing. It's not going to be too hard for Caleb. Like, what world are we talking about this April 9th? It's embarrassing that. Oh my God, you set me off. Ryan Cox knew.
He's grasping at straws, Phil, and what it is, it's because
has a fucking all the stage. You're a newsbreaker. Talk to the fucking agents. He had an okay year. This guy on the left was talked about as a god. The best rookie season ever.
And didn't deal with any of the chaos.
With none of the chaos
that Caleb did. But yeah, one
more thing. Guess what? In a team sport, the only difference was the Texans had a good coach and a really good team that year. That's the fucking difference. That's your narrative, Ian, and the rest of you little punk ass bitches. I don't care. Hold ground to truth. Don't fall into the convenience of a narrative. Throw more interceptions, Carm. Throw more, Carm. No fucking coach in the history of football has ever spoken that sentence. Yet in Chicago, we're doing that as if it's real. Like, wow. It's embarrassing. Ian Rappaport, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, it's making an awful lot of assumptions, and everything was definitely slanted towards the negative. And again, there show me a rookie quarter. And listen, does Caleb need to improve? 100%. Caleb is the first one to tell you that. But no other rookie quarterback was dealing
Is
with
he doing that about Daniel
surrounded by
Jones after his rookie year, Shane?
Phil, we have a quarterback that's heading into year 5 that gets more league-wide respect from experts and analysts. It's heading into year 5. You know, Cars brought up a great point when Justin was walking in to the facility for the Jets on their day 1 of their OTAs starting, and he had his handbag. He's like, "Are we gonna get? Is there gonna be anybody critiquing the handbag that Justin is holding, like they did with Caleb on Hard Knocks?" Do you remember that being a whole thing, and the aggregators calling it a purse and them trying to make that a fucking thing? All of that,
when he was walking in,
the fucking nonsense with all of that. Oh, he was Greg Gabriel. He was a different quarterback after Notre Dame, and all of that bullshit. Sue me if you want to. All of that nonsense, right? It's ridiculous.
Listen, I don't care. You want to 100% hold people accountable. When it's April 9th and you're talking that, and it's combined with the fucking concoction that Caleb Williams had to swallow.
Year 5, by the way.
It's pathetic. And thank you for getting that statistic and that picture up there that quick, Shane. Or Ivan, whoever did it, because that's the fucking mic drop.
Yeah.
Please. It's pathetic. Caleb Williams, what he did in utter chaos, not just on the field with his shitty line, not just with the shitty offensive coordinator that you had to fire and you made the wrong hire, not with just the coach that you had to fire, because he was just as pathetic, but the surrounding effort on the football team, from the tight end from Notre Dame to the big time number 1 wide receiver you just paid in DJ Moore. A lot of finger pointing culturally was happening on top of this rookie dealing with that. So to put up those numbers, and oh, by the way, have you in all of these games to win, it says a lot, and go into Lambeau Field and beat them at the end of the year.
Bob, I wasn't talking about Jordan Love. I said Justin Fields.
He was talking about Justin Fields wearing a Merce, walking into his first day of Jets, and none of these aggregators.
All of these guys have that shit. Who gives a fuck? You're trying to make it something that it's not to justify a point. It's fucking dumb.
The other thing about Ian Rappaport doing that, as a guy who gets calls from agents about who's signing or what he's hearing, for him to go out on a limb like that, for me, is a pathetic showcase of misinformation aggregated to the meatball fan. And that's what we do here. So when you're soft as shit and you design fucking houses for a living, or whatever you design, and we criticize your football acumen or analyst or your take like we are Ian Rappaport, if Ian was here, it would be a full-on battle debate. No different.
Yeah.
Just like me and Adam were debating the Muffin Man. I 100% know things like the smallest swearing on HBO Hard Knock is a bigger thing and a bigger showcase of how soft you've been. That's the culture you built.
When I was in Buffalo and talked to the people on the field, or do you remember me calling him like, bro? It was a whole fucking thing. They had just started. That was a whole fucking thing.
The whole Stark family's fucking on HBO, naked as shit. But God forbid the Bears swear. For fuck's.
Oh my fucking God.
It's absolute travesty in this place. And we're worried about guys in the dorm leading up to camp or oh my God. And to Shane, you made this point, and it's one that should be showcased. You're the owner of the team.
Yeah.
Or chairman. You didn't show your fucking face one time. And all you've ever done was show your face in metal. So authenticity does matter, George. You made it so important to not show who the Bears are because your culture sucked. So did your fucking coach, your GM, and the whole decision to continue on with them. And we said it here. Can't wait to see who the real and it was all a sham. It was all a sham. And it fell like a house of cards.
All right, we're gonna change things up here. We're gonna transition from
one.
Oh no, we can go back. Yeah, go ahead.
$9.99 in honor of Scottish Bear. I dedicate this money to Bearlissimo, a great shoe salesman. Shay.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
Look at James Weston, $9.99.
All right, we can come back to these. Okay. It's not going to delete them if I change the brand, is it? I shouldn't.
Hope not, bro.
No, it won't. It won't. All right, let's switch this over, and then we're gonna give our guy the.
You get a intro or anything?
Yeah, we're gonna do the. You'll see. You'll see what I'm thinking here. Let's switch this over. Let's do this. And how do we do here at TTNL? We transition to a different show while we're live, Phil.
We're live. We're
this isn't Keeping It 100.
Now
we go with this.
First up, well, I believe that's Shane. Moving back in the draft and jumping up a house of pain. This one's man makes moves, be choosing who's best. All the time, real live, confident and puffy chest. Dr. Phil food, cause you know we full state. And the lid's blown off like a team throwing late. Think you be respectable to take back the fort. Driving better than the guy with promised up the north. Big C, the former lineman, the big man at the guard. Dominated on the field, his presence never marred. Probably gas bias to the offensive line. Relentless in the trenches, the 10th pick with the fine. The next several seats, but I was up next. With or without the mustache, super producer flex. Cut to tape like a surgeon, the Puerto Rican boy, the hour. And we ain't gonna come to the light, the city of the viral.
It's a live mock show.
So let the big stretch and let you say the bill, best the guard hating.
The live mock show.
But the take never lies. What the bands took the dopes and it's a bar.
It's a live mock show.
So let the big stretch and let you say the bill, best the guard hating.
The live mock show.
But the take never lies. What the bands took the dopes and it's a bar.
Look at us. See how we do that.
We're draft mob now.
Oh man, look at we're taking the non-patrons behind the scenes here, and this is
I'm just a fan. I'm not a football evaluator.
Fuck you, George. But anyways, let's bring our guy out here. This guy, former Bears offensive lineman. No, not him.
Bears
lineman? The other one.
Oh,
James Daniel wanted
James
to
Daniel. We finally get to meet this guy.
Yeah, what's going on? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I've been
it's got the performance over politics shirt on and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've been using this slogan at work all the time. Every time I hear anybody like the management, I'm like, this guy's a shoe salesman, man. We gotta promote, it's all about performance, not politics, all day long.
You got the blurred background behind you. Is that a bed behind you?
Yeah, I'm just
it's my wife's laying in bed. She's
right. Yeah. He's got the Christine 3000 blow up doll back there holding the Bears flag. All right, James. Now I see why I blurted out. So James reached out to me, wanted to schedule a time. Come on. He wanted to put his feet to the fire. Come on with the big lights on. Do his mock draft, but we have a little change up for you tonight, James, because we're always watching in the patron community chat and watching, and I said to Phil, I'm like, this dude's out. James is doing his mock drafts on PFF and posting them and getting ready. So we're gonna bring up here, and we're gonna hold your feet to the fire. We're gonna make it a little bit tougher on you tonight, James.
Let's
You know
do it.
you know what we're gonna do? We have for you, James,
A James
a
special.
different mock generator.
Oh,
Not PFF.
Not PFF. Okay.
He likes
Not
the
PFF.
challenge. James. Some
Yeah.
people think Banks is a guard, Dad. What would you say to that?
I think they're assholes.
Oh, so this should be fun, man. So
let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. So we got it all set up for you. Gonna be drafting for the Bears. There they are.
It's a different draft simulator.
This is a pretty one. Let me go back into the chat real quick because the guy posted this in the
Could you do
Patreon chat.
trades and everything on this one too?
Brian
Oh yeah.
Perez,
Oh yeah. Where was somebody posted it in the chat? Hold on, I'm going back and looking at it. It was Dan Nichols, was the guy that posted it in there.
Weston has Dan Nichols.
Yeah, I checked it out.
Shout out to Dan Nichols.
I vetted it, checked it out.
Oh,
and,
you played with this one.
Oh yeah, but I've messed around with it, and it's a pretty good one. So it's all set up,
Now he
James.
can't be gamed, as Anthony Paget, my boy, says he can't.
Yeah,
him and his wife down in Florida, the tennis pro.
So all right, so we're 7 rounds. We got
You gotta
the
slow the speed down. How fast is this thing?
we can juice it up a little bit actually. Should
Why
be able to. I mean,
on mine it looks like it's at its highest.
oh really? Nah, it's not. Let me.
How much
So
confidence?
you can slow it down if we want to make some trades while it's still going through the other.
Oh
team.
yeah. You can
Guy's
pause
got
it and
trades on his mind. Look at him.
do all that
It's
stuff.
like Ryan
Real
Poles,
Indian.
right? Ryan
Yeah, that's
Poles
right.
is always looking to trade.
Yeah, don't fucking trade up. Bulls. Don't
Yeah,
trade up.
don't fuck this up. Let's
Yeah.
not draft
Yeah.
a slow ass linebacker. I'm sorry, my bad.
Listen,
All right,
he
so
didn't
James-
draft Jack.
Yeah.
He's undrafted, Ivan.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so-
I forgot. I'm my bad.
Logan Frost said, "Don't fuck this up." Logan wants to know if you want to trade number 10 overall to Dallas for Jack Sanborn.
Yeah. No, I think
Sign him.
I would rather trade up to make sure I can secure Armand Membo.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
no.
There you go.
Oh no.
Hey, I'm glad I got a chance to see the breakdowns that you guys did because I'm like, what the hell are these people? What are they talking about? Like it's on the film.
Yeah. Well,
That's
there's-
why we get so fired up. I
Yeah.
get more fired up than Shane.
Yeah. I listen. I've been doing this a long time, just like you have, Phil, and it happens every year. There's a guy that's going to catch fire, and like I said, not everybody is into the NFL draft like we are. And I'm not saying you, James, or whatever, but people. There's a massive section of NFL fans in general that are going to watch the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
And they're going to see a guy run a 4.32. And they're like, here we go, baby. That's the best wide receiver in the draft right there, based off him running 140.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes.
Or
That's
how
all
about
it-
the Zach Wilson combine? He
Yeah.
just exploded, right? Everyone started raving about Zach.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that. That was his private workout. He
was
rolled
his-
left
Oh,
and through to the right, 72 yards. Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Did it matter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't
I don't
matter at all.
We were famous for saying we wouldn't take him at all.
All right, so James, you don't want to? Are you ready to roll this and you want
How
to
is it
roll
gonna
it right
look?
to 10?
How is it gonna look?
It's you're gonna love it. Promise you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
wanna
ready.
let-
I'm
All
ready
right.
to roll it. We're going to 10 for sure.
Yeah. Bam.
He's
So
rolling
here
it
we
down.
are.
Not okay.
This is what it's gonna look
It's
like.
like
And
my
it's
old
yep, it's nice. You can sort it. You can go to needs for each team. It's actually pretty sweet setup. You can go to the
tackle is
go to the players, and if you look at their rankings here, they're they're pretty good. They got Banks down at 13 overall.
Mhm.
They do put more. They have the quarterbacks.
got Johnson up high. Will Johnson.
Yep, but they have the way that they do this is there is a setting on here. If you go into the advanced settings, you can set it to give quarterbacks a higher priority than where their ranking is. So that makes sense because that happens in real life.
Yep.
And so that is cool. So tell me when you are ready to start, and I will kick this off.
Yeah. Hey, quick, what app is this? Is it
What's
like
that?
Stick to the model draft sim.
Stick to the model draft, or yeah, stick to the model.com. Yeah, and it's
Stick to the
posted
model
on Patreon, and it's actually a pretty sweet setup. If you click on a player, so like if I go to Travis Hunter,
yeah,
it brings him here, and then it gives you his athletic numbers, which he didn't work out, so there's nothing there, but it gives you his RAS, his 40, height, weight, overall rank. So yeah, it's pretty dope setup. You can sort it by your picks.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, you do all that. So let's get over here to the draft. You want to roll
Not
this?
even paying us for this.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, run it, man. Definitely.
All right, man.
Yeah,
So the 2025 NFL draft is officially open, and we're gonna see how this goes. Cam Ward.
Shador went too.
Oh, yeah.
Graham is off the board.
So he didn't get any help here. I've run this a few times, and I've seen Mason Graham available at 10.
Really?
Multiple times. Yep. So if you go back to the draft, just go over it one more time. Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Will Campbell makes Coach O happy in New England. Mason Graham to Jacksonville, Ashton Genty
There's
to Vegas,
Membu with the Jets.
Membu to the Jets. Abdul Carter falls to 8.
Ooh.
Yep. T-Mac. Don't call him Tet, or they'll come after you in the YouTube comments. And Chicago is on the clock, and you
only
have
my friends could call me Tet.
Yeah, because I'm fake friends with McMillan. Sure, awesome. He ain't gonna fuck you, dude. How about that? Anyway, so you have some trade offers, 7 of them. Buffalo is willing to move up from number 30. Cincinnati is willing to move up from number 17. Indy at 14. Minnesota at 24.
What's this percentage on the right?
They are giving you an overpay. So they're 122%.
Oh, they're breaking down
they're 22% over of what the trade chart would be. So this is, they get into this pretty good.
Most value.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So James, what are you thinking? Do you want to look and see who is available? What do you want me to?
Honestly, I ran so many of these,
yeah,
like the trades and stuff. But realistically, like if I'm polls on the clock at 10,
yep,
and after seeing the breakdown of the offensive tackles, we're already in right with the interior line. I don't trust Braxton Jones, right? So I gotta go with Calvin Banks.
All right, so you're putting in that you're not willing to take a chance to 14.
Yeah. No, the reason why I'll tell you, because with the 2 second rounders, I'm looking to move one of those.
Oh, okay. Don't give away your strategy. Just
give it away.
Hey, there you go. Yep, I like it.
Zorch is like, we're taking that Notre Dame safety in round 2, baby.
Zorch is a big fan of Calvin Banks Jr.
So
James doesn't lie. The tape don't lie on Calvin Banks.
James is continuing the trend of literally every single TTNL patron in drafting Calvin Banks Jr. at number 10.
Like these blog boys.
So is this is official, James? This is our pick.
Hey, it's official. I would be running up to the podium 100%.
All right. So Calvin Banks Jr.
I would have done the same thing, sir.
So when you say, James, that you're willing to trade, are you talking trade down or potentially trade up?
Oh, he's talking
I'll trade
up.
down.
Oh, he wants to trade down.
All right, so we're going to run this right to 39 then.
Yep.
All right. Calvin Banks Jr., you are a Chicago Bear. Jalen Walker, rank called it. Going
Samo,
to the 49ers.
What the fuck are you talking about? Bring the tape, Samo, of him on his butt, because it doesn't exist.
He's watched absolutely zero. He's that literally, you know what he did? Samo read The Beast today, and that's what
Dane Brugler
talked about
you
today.
To come on the show.
I guarantee you, Samo is watching zero tape.
With the tape and we will break down who Kelvin Banks Jr. is. I wrote an article because of people like Brugler and Kuiper and this agenda. If you haven't read it or some TTNL fan hasn't shared it with you, we'll make sure we put the article in this show's description because it's the truth. And all these motherfuckers, go ahead, bring your own tape. When is he ready? When is he ready?
Samo, listen. So after James is on, send me a DM on Twitter right now at Wazram.
Please.
I will send you the link to the show, and I want to see your tape that you have of Calvin Banks Jr. We'll show it live tonight on air, and you can show us while we're wrong. 100%. Send me a DM on Twitter right now, and we'll do it after James wraps up his mock draft live on air. Oh,
he's got to cut it.
He's got to cut it. Yeah. So there's always
there is no tape.
Invite me on. I got to cut it.
You know what? When you watch tape, you cut it.
But all that is so what Samo just admitted is he's going to pull nothing but negative plays to try to prove a point.
100%. That's not what we do. Like if you're not a patron, James, you're a patron. I don't think we could have got a better commercial than what Eric Clemens, former ESPN analyst and sportscaster there, big TTNL patron and friend.
Oh, real quick. Let me just address Samo real quick. Samo, how about this then? I'm inviting you on the show tonight. You don't have to bring tape.
Yeah.
Just make your point about Calvin Banks Jr. and his negatives live on air, and we can debate it live on air without the tape. And if your debate is good enough, we'll invite you back and give you time to cut your tape.
Exactly.
And we'll have you on.
Just become a patron, Samo, because you haven't watched the tape. Seriously. It doesn't exist.
Send me a DM at Wazram on Twitter right now. I'll get you the link.
What was his exact quote again, Ivan? Oh, Ivan left.
About Banks?
Spends a lot of time on the ground.
Yeah, because That's exactly what Dane Brugler said today.
That's what I'm
exactly
asking.
What he said, yes.
Because that is a scouting term of bullshit.
Yeah.
What, guys? I cut 8 games of Banks, and the reality is, the bias comes from uneducated people that don't know how to watch offensive line play, and an ankle injury that Kelvin played with all season long that ended up taking him out of playing in the SEC championship. I know the coaches were upset, and I know people talk shit about people, and that word gets out, right? But the reality for the tape of Kelvin Banks, could he have played? Should he have played? People are upset he didn't play for Texas. You think football matters in Texas? Yeah, it does.
And the Tice family did not say that he's a guard. They said that they would try him at tackle first.
Yeah.
So that part of it. But Samo, so send me a DM at Wazram, and then once you do that, I will respond to that with the link. But right now, let's not take away from James. James, you're up here at number 39.
Hey, it's all good. I was gonna say, I mean, on that tape for Banks, you could see him pushing people downfield, and he doesn't stop. So I don't know what these guys are talking about if he's on his ass.
Yeah. 100%. Still waiting for your DM, Samo. That's great. You played offensive line in college, so you should have no problem debating. That's great. So, James, so you're on the clock here at 39. Do you want? Is there any positions that you want me to focus in on?
Yeah, let's take a look at the safety. Let's see if our boy Xavier is there. He's there.
Xavier Watts. They have him on this, ranked 57 overall in terms of the prospects. Do you want to look at? Anything
Hey, is
else?
that Andrew? Who's the guy on the? Is he a
Makuba?
Patreon? No, I was gonna say Muck Muck. Who's the guy you guys always rip on?
Oh, Muck Muck.
Oh yeah, Muck Muck.
Muck Muck's in the chat.
Hey, Shane. Can we take a look at the trades just to see what they're floating out there?
Samo at Wasram. So I'm going to repeat it for the 17th time in the past 6 minutes. At Wasram, at WASRAM
He's ranked
on X.
Oh.
At Wasram.
I'll tell you what, Jay Arthur, Carson Swessinger is a fucking ball player.
Look,
talk about somebody spending time on the ground. That's him flying
right there
to
on
the ball,
right there on the screen. At Wasram on Twitter. Send me the DM.
Pretty much there.
But anyways, so what did you want to look at, James?
Let's just take a look at the trades. I just want to see what offers are out there.
All right. So the trades, you have 4 offers. The Green Bay Packers. Are offering you picks 54 and 87 for pick 39.
They're underbidding those little bitches. Look at them.
We ain't
all their owners are
Houston is offering 58 and 79 for 39. San Francisco is offering number 43 and a future pick, which we could look at, and Seattle is offering number 50 overall and a future pick. Is there anything?
Can they counter on this?
You can counter any of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even want
on this one.
Pick.
You don't want to. You want to.
No future picks. Well, I'm gonna go with Xavier Watts for sure.
All right.
Not his guy, Shane. I love guys that are prepared. Eric Clemens had notes when he came on last.
Yes, he did.
He had his notes.
So final Xavier Watts, number 39 overall to Chicago. That is your call.
Yep. I don't trust Jaquan Brisker. One more concussion. Who knows? He'd be hanging him up.
Xavier Watts is a Chicago Bear, former Notre Dame leader.
So Gray Zabel is the sandwich pick there.
Potential center guard
in between.
For the Bears.
Yep. So you're back up on the clock. You do have 2 trade offers. Houston again is knocking at your door.
Their offer
58 and 79 for number 41, and Kansas City wants to move up. They are offering number 63 and number 66 for number 41.
Moving from 41. Honestly, I think we should roll it with the Houston trade. 58 and 79.
58 and 79.
Yep.
So you want to consummate this deal?
Let's consummate it.
All right.
He's consummating a trade.
All right. So we're back to the draft.
Watts is probably Greg Gabriel's favorite pick.
Could
as
be.
He picked off Caleb Williams 3 times in that game.
Yep. So let's run this back to
now,
see.
We have what pick did he get, Shane?
So they traded up for Donovan Jackson.
Donovan.
Ariante Ursary goes 43.
We got our guy anyway.
Landon Jackson goes to the
that
Saints.
Was Eric Clemens' pick.
Phil's guy, Darius Alexander.
My boy right there.
Goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Travion Henderson, Jack Sawyer, Alfred Collins, Princely. Phil and I had a
There's Swessinger gone.
Goes to Buffalo.
What a pick.
Marcus
the Paisano.
Bow.
The M is silent.
Bow.
Bob. Yes.
If we draft him, we got Tadeo and Bow.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bow. We missed Swessinger by 2 picks.
All right.
Jay Arthur. Our guy, Jay Arthur.
So
you want to have a mock draft and come on and mock.
I got
let us know.
I got the link for Samo coming. He did DM me.
There you go.
So that'll
be after.
Yeah,
James
it'll be after.
Daniels.
We will not add you
the spotlight right now.
Just let me grab the link while I'm doing this, and then
Maybe
I won't be
stepping up.
Yeah.
Wish he would bring his tape. The Brugler. What was the Regruder film for JFK?
Zapruder. You were almost there, Phil. Almost.
Well, the Brugler tape.
Yeah.
Of
The
too much time on the ground.
We'll call it the Zabrugler tape.
Too much time on the ground.
Dealey Plaza.
Oh.
All right, James. So you are on the clock. What do you want to look at in terms of players?
We got
need a draft, mock draft background music. I gotta make that.
You're wasting all of James' time here.
Sorry, I just want to put it out there so I don't forget. Sorry, James.
It's all good, man. Don't even worry about it. Hey, we had 58, right? And then what was the other one? 72 and 70.
So your picks that you have 58, 72, and 79 before you drop down to 148 in round 5.
Beautiful. Okay. So definitely we got to look at the running backs right now.
He's going all in on the running backs, folks.
All right. So the running backs
gonna go
led by Caleb Johnson, Quinchon Judkins, Cam Scatabo, Dylan Sampson. This mock generator is wildly low on my guy, Jaden Blue. They have him down as
They are high on my
late
guy.
7th round.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caleb Johnson.
Yes, sir.
And Cam.
Caleb
Scott.
Johnson's my number. Yeah, Caleb Johnson is my number 2.
Oh, he's
man.
your number 2 as well. Okay.
Yeah,
My two,
we got to go Caleb Johnson. I mean,
my
this
2B is
Cam.
Cam Scatabo.
All right, so that is done deal. We're drafting Caleb.
Done deal. Easy.
All right.
That's easy money.
Caleb with a K.
All right. Mason Taylor off the board. Wyatt Millum goes to Philly. They get another
Millum.
offensive. Ooh, look who's available there.
Oh my God.
So
This
we
girl, perfectly timed. This is the new mock music, Shane, by the way.
perfect. So we are up at pick 72 in round 3.
Yes,
James.
This is
Right
perfect.
now, currently, these
Oh
guys
my
are grading you at a C plus,
I got
which
3.
doesn't mean anything.
It don't mean anything. Don't even worry. We're gonna take Fannin Jr. No doubt
Oh
right
my
here.
God.
Right
3
here.
of my
That's
circle
easy.
guys are still available.
Hey, the tape doesn't lie, man. It's all on it.
Holy shit. He gets Fannin Jr. and Ivan Vargas has
The Bears-
another shot of vodka.
The Bears are back up. And we are at pick 79. Bears are on the clock. So what position group would you like to look at?
So let's just take a look at the DTs. Who's available there?
So Shamar Turner from Texas
Look at
A&M.
how high they have
Ty
our guy, Ty
Robinson.
Robinson versus
Yep.
EFF's 312.
See if they have his they have his size up. Remember, and the other one they had him at like 237, which was, and you see that RAS score at 9.9,
Yeah.
171, 10-yard split, wingspan 81.1. But
Hey, you
what do
guys haven't dropped the DT
like-
breakdown yet, so I'm gonna have to lean on you guys a little bit.
And as we
is there? Do you want to look at the you wanna-
DEs? Yeah, let's see who's at the edge.
we fuck with Damian Martinez. We just don't fuck with him in the second round, bro. That's it.
So there's your edges or defensive ends. I know Phil and I both kind of like Kennard from South Carolina.
How do you like Turner, Shamar Turner on the DT?
I'm not as big on Turner myself. I don't know how Phil feels about it. I'm not as big on Shamar.
A&M,
Yeah.
I'm still not there with him.
Yeah.
My guy, my sleeper favorite D tackle, when
Yeah.
Shane pointed him out from Toledo.
Darius
Darius
Alexander.
Yeah,
Yep.
that dude he's a penner. And I'm cutting Nolan now. So I'm doing all of the defensive tackles. This weekend we will have Matt Waldman, if you're a patron, coming on to break down several wide receivers that are Chicago Bear fits in the draft, according to Matt Waldman and his rankings. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I teased you on Missouri wide receiver being one of those guys.
So, James, what do you? I mean, anything else that
yeah,
interested?
let's
Got
look at
wide
the trades.
receiver there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a wide receiver, the Isaiah Bond. How you guys feel about him?
I
he's-
like that kid.
Yep.
He is going to be one of the guys that has broke it down.
Yep.
By
Speed personified. Now, I don't know. I am much higher on this guy right here, Kyle Williams from Washington State, from where they have him ranked.
Yeah.
My guy Helton's there.
Yep.
Horton.
Isaiah
Corey
Bond.
Horton,
If
I
you
like.
want, if you want
He's the
speed,
top one.
Yeah.
He's the top one.
Which we need. I ain't trusting Tyler Scott now already. I mean, it's about enough time.
Yeah.
And just quick, Shane, what are the trades available? I just want to see what they're floating out there.
Yep. So the Detroit Lions are offering picks.
The Giants
102 and 130. That's a
Giants
pretty
eyeball.
big drop down from 79.
It's a huge drop back. Yeah.
And the Giants are offering picks 99 and 105. So you have two kind of sandwich picks to drop 20 spots.
Man, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to go with Isaiah Bond over here.
All right.
That's with
We need
Steve Shinogle. Shinogle's hoping you get
Isaiah Bond.
Yeah, he's pulling for Bond.
So is that that's final? Isaiah Bond is the pick?
That's final. Let's do it.
Putting his name, his stamp on it.
All right, now we're gonna be free falling down to 143. I did send the link, Samo. It is in your DMs, sir. Maybe he's cutting tape as we speak.
Get that tape. Torrey Hunter. Ollie Gordon went to the Chiefs.
I saw that breakdown too, Phil. That Ollie Gordon.
Oh, he's a great player, right?
Yeah, definitely. But hey, that Jaden Blue is legit.
Right.
He's legit.
Yep. All right, so we
He's
are
in my
up.
top 5.
Yeah.
There's Damian Martinez, who was just talked about in the chat, available.
The running back. Yeah.
What position are you looking at?
Let's look at the D line.
So you got Yaya Black from Iowa, Howard Ross. Iowa. Doing well. I'm doing well. Iowa.
Happy.
Hey, how do you guys feel about this guy Tonka Hemingway? I was reading something about him. I haven't seen any of his breakdown or anything.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't jumped in onto him a whole bunch, so I probably not the right guy to be talking about.
When we watched the South Carolina tape, we kept pointing him out a little bit.
Yep.
James, I don't know if you remember that one. We were studying the Georgia, the running backs. What running back? And then we were double.
Etienne.
No, we weren't doing ATM. We were doing another running back playing South Carolina, and then we were pointing out, Tonka. There's the kid Tonka.
Yep.
So Shane, how many picks we got? What is it? The 2 left?
No, you should have 3. You should have 148, 233, and 240.
Okay.
And one big thing that's going to get you
podcast version.
One thing that is going to probably get you massacred is you have not taken an edge yet.
Yeah.
Or a center.
Well, we still got Ayo. We picked them up in the offseason.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the interior line. I just want to see who's available.
Interior O-line?
Interior O-line, yeah.
Seth McLaughlin, Josh Gray, Carson Vincent, which I'd be a hard no on. Lukendra, Jake Majors, Willie Lampkin. I think he's going to end up being a
How about
center.
that Ohio State? That's that center, right? McLaughlin.
Yeah, McLaughlin. He's not bad, but what round are we here? Shane always goes down.
You're into the 5th round, yeah.
5th round.
Phil, your guy on the defensive line, Q Robinson, is
that guy is a leader. Talk about a guy that comes in and plays for you.
6'5", 241, and he ran a 4.6 at that size. So he's.
I mean, at this point, right? If we need to
be a major special teams try hard guy
and potential just depth on the D line, right?
Yeah, look who's in the chat. It's the birthday boy.
The birthday czar or Lord.
Yeah, Lord Cars.
Hans. Matthew Hans Carson. Happy birthday, Matthew.
Yeah, happy birthday, Cars.
So do you have a
Hey,
pick?
so you're saying Robinson?
Well,
Hugh Robinson is
Let me see.
Phil's.
Hugh Robinson is one of my sleepers in this draft in regards to.
And there's still some good running backs.
Yeah,
available in there too. But
we got our Caleb Johnson. Yeah, let's take Q Robinson. Let's get some depth on that D line.
Bring in the leader, a football player,
and an Alabama boy. That's what we need.
All right. And just in case anybody's keeping score at home, Samo has the link and has not responded yet.
He's waiting. He's cutting tape.
Maybe. Better not be highlights, I'd tell you that. All right. The Bears are going to be coming up here at
Brooks just went.
Yep. 233 and 240. So James, what are you hoping?
Wait, what happened?
I'm loving this draft. If this was a real case scenario,
yeah. So all right, so you are up again on the clock. Here, what do you
just scroll down. Let me see who's available at all. Shit, Jaden Blue is there, man. I'm doubling down.
Jaden Blue is still there.
Yeah.
I thought it was
they're wildly low.
I know. That's ridiculous. I'm taking Jaden Blue. Like if this is a real life scenario, there's no way I'm not taking him at 233. What are we at? 233 pick?
233, yeah.
Oh yeah, Jaden Blue all day long.
I love that pick.
Put it this way. So you're moving into 2026 with Caleb Johnson and Jaden Blue as your backfield. And
that's what I was gonna say. Swift like they can technically move off of him?
He becomes the Swift replacement, Blue. Yeah. Then you got Caleb as your bell cow power back.
Exactly. 100%.
That's a stud pick right there, man. I didn't even know he was still available.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I pointed out, that they're wildly low on him. I mean, I know that I'm
third best running back. Right?
I'm abnormally high on him. Yeah, Phil, you saw the
he's my 4B for cars.
Oh yeah.
I get 6 running backs and
you got your final pick here, James. At you are at pick 240. Where do you want to go?
Let's take a look at the safeties. Let me see who's there.
If you want to be a part of the mock draft, let us know.
There's a TTNL favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna take that banger, Dan Jackson.
There he is.
Yeah. All right,
he's another circle for Phil. A circle player.
I love it.
Dan Jackson, safety out of Georgia.
They gave us a C, huh? On here.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't worry about any of the grades.
Fine. I mean, if we can get this roster after the draft, this would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
This would be a great draft for me too. I would again.
Man, you got playmakers galore for Ben Johnson over there.
Yeah, let me. I'll get your picks.
This is a really good draft, James.
I do like this mock draft generator, other than them being ridiculously low on Jaden Blue. I mean, whatever, it's fine. I think it's better than PFF for sure.
Oh my God, we traded down to what 17, and we've still got Calvin Banks, and they gave
he didn't go. He didn't. Oh. He took Banks.
No, not this year. I'm talking about PFF.
Oh yeah.
We got a D. I was like, what?
There it is. There's the breakdown. So Calvin Banks Jr. at 10.
Yes.
Xavier Watts at 39. Caleb Johnson, Harold Fannin Jr., Isaiah Bond, Q Robinson, Jaden Blue, and Dan Jackson. You want to know what's very good about this draft, James, is that every one of those picks are making the team, and every one of those picks is going to be a contributor in year one. Every one of them.
How did they give Xavier Watts a C?
Yeah, it's
pretty crazy.
And I don't understand how Jaden Blue is that far down.
They have him ranked.
A lot of
they have
people have him
Xavier
down low.
Yeah, they had the way that they're taking away from it is they have Xavier Watts where they have him ranked. James took him 18 slots before where they had him ranked, so they're dinging him just on their preference. George
agrees. He doesn't like the
he wants to roll with
I ain't rolling
safeties
with
that are
another
old
concussion,
or
on Brisker or Byard, Kevin Byard. I mean, age up there.
All right, so wow, did you guys see the breaking news?
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
A response from Samo? Still waiting.
He's cutting the tape for you guys. That's why.
Yeah.
We'll have to see
We
the
will
tape.
see. Is this where we transition back to keeping it 100? Is this what we do?
Yes. As long as you have his picture, his screenshot.
Yeah, it's still there. I can load it up.
Okay.
I can load it up.
Oh. There it was. A little taste of Draft Mob where we give you, the fan, the opportunity to be the GM of the Chicago Bears. Shane helps guide you through the draft and you make your selection that what do we think the Bears will do? We want what you would do.
Who's going to be the first patron that does not draft Calvin Banks? Will it happen? Is it possible?
Everybody's taking him?
Every person.
Ain't going to be me either. I'm drafting him too.
So, James, if Mason Graham had fallen, where were you going?
Yeah, I'm taking Mason Graham if he was there. I did a bunch of them too, messing around and taking Mike Green and see. I don't know if it's a real scenario, but like taking Mike Green, and then of course with PFF, you see Calvin Banks drop to the 17, 18, 19, trading back in with the 39 and 41 and saying, I'm coming out of this draft with the best pass rusher and the best offensive tackle, and I'm set. If that's a real life type of scenario, you know.
Didn't Weston took Graham, right? When he did it, or did he take Banks?
I can't remember. I'd have to look back. I don't think he didn't take him. I don't think Mason Graham fell, did he? Maybe he did. I can't remember. I've done so many of these.
Graham, these are the only guys you really could take at 10.
Yeah.
Mason Graham, Kelvin Banks.
Reach out to me on Patreon. Send a DM to us through Patreon, and we will schedule a time to get you on and do your live mock.
Will I
can't get any easier than that.
When Cars does his mock draft, do you think I will vomit when he does his pick?
Well, knowing Cars the way that I know him,
yes,
I think Cars may make it a priority to upset you at number 10 and take Tyler Warren.
Ooh.
That would probably be putting your name in the dumpster for yourself. I'll just watch you fail. He is completely off the board for me at 10. But he would, if you were to say, would you want a corner or Warren? I'm going to take Warren.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. There's scenarios where I could say base Membu or Warren. I'm taking Warren if I'm in that. But if I have the choice, it's going to be Banks every time. Even over Graham, I take Banks because I recognize, okay.
Yep. No, I get it. I just
I'll come back in a couple years.
Let me ask you this. And this James, you can chime in on this too. Knowing the Bears, if Mason Graham and Kelvin Banks are both available at 10, who do you think the Chicago Bears would take?
I think Mason Graham 100% they would take.
I think that they
over Kelvin Banks.
I think that they would too.
Yeah.
There you go. We're gonna see. I do want to add to this conversation right here. That mock draft you sent me, Shane, where Rand Carthon,
Yeah.
the former GM of the Titans, alludes on that show two things that gives props to TTNL. A, he talks about Membu being way too overhyped and doesn't like his technique and thinks he's a good player, but he's just not top 10 tackle based on his technique, his finishing, and everything. So that makes me respect Rand a lot because he's actually watching it. And then he goes and says, because Graham falls to him in this draft.
Yeah. And again, so let's
Shane, real quick.
Oh, when he was talking about, he said he goes, if Banks is available to the Bears, I think that's the dream pick for the Bears. And he talked about the Bears. He talked about Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham specifically being at the Texas Vanderbilt game. But again, the Bears have been connected to the safety from Texas. They've been connected to Jaden Blue from Texas. So,
but Rand being a GM, you know how they talk,
and
he probably saw their eyes wide.
Bowski, don't listen to people that are taking things and taking very massive leaps of faith in thinking that's what they were talking about because they looked in a reflection on the screen at the combine and Mason Graham happened to be doing an interview because that's where you're getting that from. Ben Devine put that tweet out.
I seen that too.
Let's just pump the brakes on that.
Ben Devine was like a writer or analyst somewhere. This guy's
I don't know.
Aggregator.
Yeah,
he is.
I don't. But that's where it came from. Ben's like, look who's on the screen, and
oh my god,
listen,
get him on the show.
They literally could be talking about. Do you think that Dennis Allen said, "Oh, Mason Graham's doing an interview. Where do we have him on our board?" Come on,
almost as bad as some of these guys. Well, Daniel Jeremiah says Membu is good. What makes you say? Okay, why are you talking drafts? Do you have your own? I could not watch one of these shows where Courtney Cronin appeared on. I just like the whole show gave me douche chills.
So we have an update from Samo. He responded.
Not Courtney, by the way.
Samo said, I'm putting my 1-year-old to bed so that I can jump on.
Okay.
There you go.
So
listen to Katie. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Get
Katie
your shot.
Is Katie a regular?
She was here last week. Katie.
Was she?
Yeah.
Looking her up.
How do you get the last name Crow?
That was from her first husband. It was a mistake. Sorry, I have no idea. I'm looking back at Katie's comments, and Katie said trenches, trenches, trenches.
She's a smart girl.
Got to be left tackle or edge at 10. So Katie is obviously brilliant, and we love her for it. Thank you, Katie.
She's probably a patron.
Frank Hacks loves.
Frank Hacks loves Katie. I love Katie. Who doesn't? Everyone needs a Katie.
Phil's trying to get love again for that.
Oh yeah, people love my Seinfeld impression, James.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So James, how did you find us? Like,
man, we used to follow the old network, and I used to see the tape never lies, like you guys breaking down tape. I loved it. I was like, this is the best because you hear all this crap about like these people raving about this person, and then you watch the tape.
Fuck you, Bullets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, what are they watching? I don't get it. So I used to follow you guys. But what was it? Bears Hour Live? Is that what it was?
Well, that's still a thing.
That was the birth. He's right. Back with me and Lauren Cox.
Yeah, but what was the
The old network with what was
We
the guy's
started
name?
Bears Hour Live with me and Lauren Cox that
Yeah.
transitioned into Barroom. Bears
Barroom, yes, yeah, with
Man,
Aldo
oh,
or something like that,
oh
right?
my God, that
That's
guy.
when I used to follow. Yeah.
I tell you right now, Deshaun Watson is a Matt Liner. Remember?
Oh God, that was what? So that
He's
was
just the king of the worst
2017. Yeah, but anyways, we've moved on and
Doing good.
Yeah.
it's
You
away
happy?
and doing good. Iowa,
Give
huge.
me any Iowa player in this draft. When's the last Iowa player we drafted, Shane?
BJ Armstrong,
James
1989.
James Daniels.
The Bulls.
James Daniels. Shane.
Yeah, actually, yeah, perfect.
No,
He was.
would be
He's
the punter,
He's
Shane.
James Daniel.
Corey
Right,
Taylor.
He's
Yeah,
James
there you go.
Daniel. We drafted James Daniels.
Yes.
He only missed out on the S. I knew Jared. Somebody would get, but I fixed it before you said it.
Yeah, Lauren Cox was with us.
Lauren Cox. I started Lauren Cox and Greg Braggs.
Yeah.
This network has helped smarten the fan base up. The
100%.
smartest guy on CHGO is a fucking bricklayer. Who would have thought that? Not me. Not smart. Yes, you are. On CHGO. On-
Angelo, do you remember Greg Braggs?
No.
I love that clip.
No. Oh, Braggs. Yes.
How long does it take Samo to put his 1-year-old to bed? I mean, I used to just take my daughter and
on with
throw her over the edge and go to sleep.
What happened to Ivan? Where did he go?
Where did who go?
Ivan. Did he say something in the?
Hey, I haven't seen Claudio in a long time.
Oh my God! I spoke to Claudio today.
Yes, and how did that go?
Bro, it's great. I had a great talk with him.
Doing good from Iowa. No, Claude's being a family man.
Yeah, he's dealing with a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, we love Claude.
That's why. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, he hasn't been on. Nice.
He's been dealing with a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
But
we had to put him in rehab because he's got shitty taste in hats. So we're trying to fucking get that figured out with him.
While we wait, why don't we do some super chats, Shane, with James Daniel, not Daniels. Just like James Daniel. I mean, Chase Daniel.
Yep.
Another flip-flopping analyst. I mean,
oh, that guy kills me now too. I don't know what these guys.
If you have an agenda, then
Dan Orlovsky, Chase Daniel, all these guys
can't flip-flop, man. You gotta have your.
That's right.
At some point, it's gonna matter. Maybe ESPN's living off the Ryan Clark, Arlovsky, Stephen A. drama every day, flip-flopping, no accountability, all of that stuff. But that's gonna get tiresome. That's where we come in. Yeah, this is what it is. Shane, I can admit, Jaden Blue for me was probably running back 11, 12. Going into watching tape.
Yeah.
Because you know what I do all season? I don't pretend I'm watching college tape. I'm watching college football. And I'm watching tape of the Bears all season on this network. And I'm showing, like you, okay, this is what the problem is with the offense. I'm showing you it. I'm not making it up. I'm saying we need to get under fucking center.
Yeah.
Make 2 times. And Cole Kmet should shut his mouth and start blocking. We're showing you that. The same shit I did on the video.
Yep.
Just in a longer version without all the jokes.
And it was funny how it flipped. Remember when Matt Nagy was here? I didn't come here to run the I formation.
Yeah.
It's flipped.
Any coach that
Well, it's got to
They
listen.
can't do something that.
And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here and rain on the parade, but it's now Ben. Now you can say everything you want. Now you got to prove it. Now you got to get out there. I don't want to see, Camp Cabo.
Yeah.
Get out there, run a real camp. Play the starters in preseason.
100%.
Get them calloused like everybody has said. And then you know what? When you get to the regular season, don't pull what the Bears have done for years and, we're going to talk publicly about something and then do the exact opposite because we're smarter than everybody else.
I call it the Muffin Man concept.
Yeah.
Out of shotgun, Phil, your guy running back, Bashul Tootin.
Yes.
How many runs from under center has he had in his career at Virginia Tech?
4.
0.
Okay. I was wrong.
You were almost
off by 4.
Yeah, off by 4.
Exactly. Is it going to take a lot of time for him to understand how to run?
That's my.
No. Any fucking asshole saying it is?
Yeah.
Sorry for you guys that have said this. Is not or has not ever played or coached. It is not hard. You know
how many 1-year-olds does Sammy
for?
have to put to bed?
You know who it's hard for to transition from playing pistol back to side back in a pro set in the gun. It's not hard at all. Now you're standing behind a fullback. Was it hard for Eddie George to transition to running in the fucking shotgun? No. Because he ran out of the eye fucking 99% of the time at Ohio State back then. It's stupid. Just like it is not going to hurt. Caleb Williams could go under center.
Yeah.
Easily. He hasn't done it much because we had a doofus as a coach and an OC. And Caleb will have to learn the dance, the rhythm of the steps that time up and marry up with the routes. That's it. It's not going to be hard. Let's not make as much to do about nothing. Isaac Siegel, $10. This is the first time in years that there doesn't seem to be a consensus on what the Bears should draft, except here at TTNL, which feels like our roster is getting better to a better spot now to continue building. I agree. The roster's getting there, but you're not happy at safety, left tackle.
Yes.
You're not happy at tight end. You're not happy at receiver yet. You're all right at receiver. You're just not ecstatic. This is a Sam. We should star every Samo. Jalen Walker is the second best football player in this draft, Jane. And the second best pass rusher in this draft. This is Samo, who sees Kelvin Banks on the ground a lot.
Hey, is he a patron? Has he seen any of the breakdown or
Really
no?
not.
Samo doesn't even follow us on Twitter.
Jalen Walker is honestly, stay so far away from him. He needs to be in a specific deep, like there's talent there, right? There's talent there. But if you're taking a smaller pass rusher, it's Campbell every time.
Oh, Jahad Campbell, 100%.
Yeah, over Walker. Like I don't know what tape you're watching. Campbell is so much more fluid and bendy and twitchy. Walker's fast, but he does not bend. He's bulky up top, and he's terrible as an off-the-ball linebacker as well. Anyway, you want an off-the-ball linebacker, you better get the kid from UCLA. It's Wessinger. Advisable, $5. Best Chicago Bears show out there. Who is better than us? Nobody.
Nobody.
Yes. Smash the like button, subscribe. Thank you. Advisable. finally could see his AVI, but not enough. He's got a big mic there, a boom mic. There he is, Chubbs. Chubbs 82.5. I feel like people are crapping on Banks just to get him down the board. Well, this is lying season, guys.
Yeah, and I believe it. I think Nate Tice said, I think he was on with Hogan Johns. I think it was Nate Tice that was just on. I believe he said that people in the NFL are higher on Calvin Banks than the draft nicks. And it's like, well, it's kind of what we do.
Kuiper than those guys.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Did you read the article, by the way, that I wrote? The piece on Calvin Banks is the best offensive tackle.
Yep.
Because you brought up Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper coined, and I went back, and he coined Calvin Banks will be possibly picked 1 or 2 in next year's draft. This is post last year's draft. Caleb Williams being drafted by the Bears. Mel Kiper then proceeds to say later, yeah, we had him hyped up as one of the top players coming in this draft, but you saw some regression out there. I didn't see the regression. And then you add in the injury that he played with all season, taking him out, and you can see the recency bias. The tape says what it is.
Yep.
I loved, as I said earlier, my guy Laramie Tunsil when he was coming out from Ole Miss. This is how I feel about Calvin Banks. A pillar piece left tackle who's got a mean disposition, but way athletic in regards to his feet and his ability to get the second level. He's knocking everybody to the ground. He stays attached. There is not a better offensive lineman in the drafts that blocks bubbles and screen game. He identifies the appropriate target and deliberately takes an aggressive approach to the angle that is perfect. That's hard to teach. When those guys get out in the open field and identify the corner that they have to go to and attack, Banks is better than, I don't know if I remember someone as good as this.
Well, Bowski's asking you, do you think he's a better prospect than Tunsil?
For me, yes. Like, because of what I'm just talking about, he's a better mover outside. Tunsil might be a better power blocker in regards to his pass pro set coming out. I think you could make that all right, but run blocker, effort, athlete out in space, which the NFL and Ben does a lot of.
Yeah.
In regards to the screen game, there isn't a he's better than Tunsil was. That's why I am not gonna hype a guy. I just don't have it. The tape hypes me up, not the other way around.
Yeah, so this is
11:05, man. Cygnus.
Yeah, I gave you
$4.99.
Hold on before you read that. I responded to Samo. He said, I'm putting my 1-year-old to bed so that I can jump on. That was at 10:46. I responded to him 1 minute later. I said, all good, man. Family first. See you in a bit. So it's at 11:05, and I have been doing some detective work, as Philip Patoshin knows that I do.
You're very good at it.
And I will just say this. And if Samo comes on, we can talk about it. I'll be surprised if Samo shows up. We'll just say that.
There you go.
We'll just say that. I'll be very surprised. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. We'll see.
You're called the smartest man for a reason.
Putting the 1-year-old to bed, I'm probably going to call bullshit on that. We'll see.
He doesn't even have kids, does he?
I'm not even worried about if he might have. He might have 12 kids, but I'm pretty good at this shit. So yeah, we'll see.
Are you concerned at all with the number of carries and age of Genty? Cygnus X1 499.
Why would we
Hellraiser.
be concerned about the age?
He's how old is he?
Genty's 21 or 22 at max.
22 at the most. I thought he's 21.
Genty, born December 2nd, 2003. He is 21 years old.
Did Dane Brugler call him an older running back?
I have no idea.
Had a lot of carries, man. You concerned about that? No. Are you concerned about your son riding a bike a lot? You know when you concern yourself about a lot of carries? When they don't get yards. That's when you concern yourself. That number again. Okay, he touched the ball 40 times in a game, and he went for 300 yards. And how many times did he get tackled? Well, he got tackled, pushed out of bounds 12 times. Okay, that's now 28 more carry, whatever it is. And we continue to go down. Like, don't worry about carry numbers. Did he take a beating? He's a physical motherfucker. His pro day workout, like, I'm not a combine guy. I like to see them move. It'll check a box is 40. You want to make sure corners and receivers, especially based on their size, like you're not taking a receiver at 5'8" that runs a 4'9". He's going to be an undrafted guy.
Right.
That's it, right? So those kind of margins are there. But other than that, you're looking at these guys and how they move, especially running backs, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. This Genty, my God, the movement skills is just outstanding.
Chubbs, 82, $5. Can we stop acting like being in the sports legacy media is a respectable job? It's not. Oh, listen, I do have. Listen, we know. Phil and I have been doing this a long time. There's a lot of guys that we know. There's a lot of guys that love to ruffle feathers and people take it the wrong way. But then there's Phil, we just had this conversation of, you know, guys that are getting paid on the side to you know, push and pub a draft prospect that they potentially don't even believe in at all, but they're getting paid for it. And that, listen, that's something that happens a lot more than I think people even realize. And it happens on a very, very big level. And I'm not talking about, hey, I'm throwing you, you know, a couple of $100. You know, it's way more than that. And it's part of it. So Chubbs is right. But I mean, listen, there's good and bad to all of them, just like there is in real life, there is in sports media too. So, but thank you, Chubbs. Hope the puppy's doing well.
A lot of people don't like us, James, because we.
Yep. James Weston.
Names, James.
$1.99 for Samo, the shoe salesman. Thank you, sir.
Samo, the shoe salesman.
James Weston is back. $1.99. Only costs $10 to become a patron. Do it. Yep. James came on and
super chats to help fans become better fans.
Absolutely.
I was asking James Daniel.
Yep.
The benefit that you found from Patron.
Oh, massive. Since you guys used to, like I said, on that Tape Never Lies, like on YouTube, and then now with a Patron, it's the best. If you're a football fan, you have to, and then you're a Bears fan, you gotta be signed up.
No, I appreciate that.
Love it.
And the Tape Never Lies that you're talking about has since been deleted. It was part of me and Lauren moving on from an idea I had of let's do a live radio show. And Lauren Cox, as smart as he is, but especially then with computers and shit, was able to figure out how to take calls and do shit post game.
Yeah.
It was a different world back then.
It was.
Everything.
You didn't have everything at your touch. So Lauren came up with a way, and it was through this. It was before MixLR.
Yeah. Oh yeah, way before.
So then we were taking calls and having a live post-game show, but we just couldn't see us. Like, and that's another thing TTNL did was StreamYard. We discovered StreamYards were the first guys to have this in regards. A lot of people were using OBS and all this complicated stuff.
Yep.
I was able to find StreamYard, and Shane and I were pushing the old man to do it, and we ended up doing it instead of Zoom or whatever the fuck they want. So, and then going back, me and Lauren transitioned and we're like, all right, I'm gonna do my video breakdowns of the Bears.
Yeah.
And I would take the coach's tape and then cut all the tape like I do, and then put a narration over it, draw it up, and upload it to YouTube. And it was Draft Dr. Phil presents The Tape Never Lies. And that would be where Speed Bump Charlie, the Walrus, and all these commentaries and jokes and hidden Easter eggs I put in as I did that. And then Aldo deleted it all the history of it, which sucks.
Yeah.
I know some fan was able to find, and I know Shane, but
Yeah,
he's got to reach out to it. If you're that fan, can you reach out again? Because we really want to get some of those old Jay Cutler breakdowns and and all of that stuff that is gone now.
Yeah. When I started following you guys, I think it was more on the like Mitch Trubisky and
There's
all that.
Samo.
Oh, he
Samo's
did
in the
show up.
room.
He
showed up.
I have to wrap the show up.
All right.
Hold on. Samo's here.
James, you want to stay on for this, or you got to bounce?
No, I got to bounce, man. Hey, thank you guys though so much for letting me be on. This was amazing. So I can't wait for the actual draft in less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah, great job tonight,
I
man.
appreciate you rocking the swag too.
Oh, definitely,
Ivan's
man.
working on opening the swag shop with Sean Stewart, right, Shane?
Yeah.
We got to get that open, man.
Yeah, we do.
We need a t-shirt. What do you think of people that want to put Kelvin Banks at guard? They're assholes. We need that
Tell him,
t-shirt.
coach.
Tell him, some people think Banks is a guard, Dad. What would you say to that?
I think they're assholes.
Gotta love it.
You gotta get
All right, James. You did great, man.
All right.
Hey,
Good
I
job.
appreciate it, guys.
Performance
Thank you
over
so much, man.
politics, baby.
All day long, man. Definitely.
You have a
Love
great
it.
night. Great
you too.
job. A+ draft for me, grading you.
I appreciate it, man. You guys take care, man. Thank you so much.
See you, man.
I'll see you.
All right, let's bring
I used to
out.
always wait for the end of the draft as
Yeah.
a kid, and I wanted to hear how they graded the Bears. And every time they were coming to the Bears pick, it was like,
Yep.
oh, we're going to a commercial. We'll be back.
All right, we got Daddy Daycare putting the
There
youngins
he
to
is.
sleep.
Daddy daycare. What's up, fellas?
What's
There
up,
he
kid?
is. Samo,
Hey.
former offensive lineman, Samo.
Former defensive lineman. Offensive line was in high school. I put the wrong letter there. I played D-line in college.
Where'd you play?
I actually played the long story how I ended up here, but I
Madden
actually played
2002.
I actually played with Brian Urlacher's little brother, Casey Urlacher.
Casey.
Oh,
Casey and used to hang out with Brian and all of those guys, man, playing
Nice.
basketball with those guys. Like Brian was a great dude, man. All those dudes were good, cool, man. Marty Booker, fucking Warwick Coleman. Yeah, we used to hoop and all that shit all the time.
Rosie Colvin.
Rosie Colvin. Yep, Rosie played him a couple times.
Kari Samuel
before he left. What's up?
Kari Samuel with you all?
Kari Samuel, no.
He would have been
No, he
before.
wasn't.
Yeah.
He would, yeah, he wasn't there.
Biggest hands I've ever
Derek
seen.
Coleman.
Marty Booker. Biggest
Marty
hands I've
Booker
ever
was a
seen.
big dude, man. Marty
His
Booker
hands.
was his hands were huge, and
And
he was
his
just
hands.
like he was jacked. That was
Tip.
he was a dude, man. And he can he can
3X
hoop. He was probably one of the best players that we was out there.
3X gloves that he would wear, and he couldn't even pull the strap. He couldn't even strap them. He had to
No
play.
doubt.
You look in the games; they were always loose. He had those biggest hands I've ever seen.
For sure.
Now,
All right, so Sammy,
we
let's
gotta talk to you.
So I was trolling with the on the ground all the time because there's another guy out here who says that all the time. And I know everyone in the chat knows that that's one of Greg Gabriel's saying. But he does be on. I have seen Kelvin Banks on the ground, but that was me trolling a little bit or being sarcastic about him being on the ground a lot. I think he has high upside. I think he could be a Trent Williams at best. I think he does have some issues with
Sammy
leaning
just
forward.
completely.
No, I'm gonna tell you exactly.
No,
listen. I'm not turning it around
no
because
worse place.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what game to look at. You can look at the game. So we're talking about the two players, Jalen Walker and Kelvin Banks. Jalen Walker kicked Kelvin Banks' ass in this game. Now, if you go watch it, if we want to pull up that tape right now, I can show you.
They didn't play. He didn't play in the championship.
They played.
He didn't play in the SEC championship, nor did he play in the playoffs. So they didn't match up. He was against.
There's tape of Jalen Walker against Kelvin Banks whooping him consistently.
Let's get this tape.
Consistently.
We played him twice.
Right? He's whooping him consistently off of the edge, coming out, long arming him, allowing him to push, to pull. I'm telling you, he was allowing him to long arm.
This tape.
He was getting his hands in his chest. I'm telling you. And I think that Kelvin Banks has great hand. He throws his hands well, but sometimes he lunges a little bit. For some reason, Jalen Walker was able to get up into him, get into his chest, get his hands into his chest, get around him consistently. It's consistently. If you don't believe me, then I'll bring the tape to you the next time. Invite me back and I'll bring the tape back to you and we can watch just that game. Now the right tackle, I can't think of his name, actually did better against he played better against Jalen that game. Jalen, and I know you say that he's small field, but Jalen Walker is a damn good football player. He knows how to he uses his speed.
Where are you playing him in the NFL, Samo?
He has to play outside. He has to play one of either Will or Sam. That's the only way he can play. And then you can move him down to the edge on passing downs. That's what they're doing with him in Georgia right now. I think he can do that. I think he can play off the ball linebacker. I think I understand he has some
I don't see it at all.
issues with reads, but that's coaching. And you don't know what they're telling him to key on. Like, that's just coaching. I've seen him follow a guard to the backfield and get a tackle
behind him around doesn't help him. I'll give you that. The coach putting him at Mike Backer, then putting him here. But
it does it. And they do that with all of their players. That's
what Georgia
245
does. Pounds. He is not going to play defensive end. He'll be a
not consistently. Not consistently.
You don't take that at 10.
No, but you know what? He should be in the 3-4, an outside linebacker now. That's his natural position. But I'm just saying for us. If we were to draft him, that's what we would have to do. And I think he's going to go to a 3-4 team as an outside linebacker.
I just want you to bring the tape consistently. Is a very big
consistently, Phil. I promise you, I will bring the tape, invite me back.
Listen.
Saying the information.
Yeah, no, but listen.
You just tell me when.
We have to. When you're saying consistently, you're not basing all of this. You're basing this all off one game.
Off of that one game. That's the only thing I can. I mean, consistently in that one game.
You're basing Kelvin Banks' future.
I'm not saying Kelvin Banks' future is not bad. I'm
Jalen Walker off of one game.
I'm not out on Kelvin Banks. A lot of people think Kelvin Banks can't play left tackle in the NFL. I think he can. I'm not saying that he can't play and that he's not going to be a good player. I'm saying he has some things that he has to work on.
Right.
And But just like every other player, though. That's every other player. The one player that I don't agree that can play left tackle is Will Campbell, if you want to have that argument. But Kelvin Banks, I think I wouldn't be mad with a Kelvin Banks pick because I do think he's solid. I love the way he punches. I love the way he gets his hat lower. I love the way he drive guys off and gets himself out of trouble. He uses his feet extremely well. He moves his feet extremely well. Like I like him, and like I said, Josh Conerly, I think is another guy. I think Calvin Banks is a better anchorer than Josh Conerly is right now. But Josh Conerly is another guy that plays with great bend, throws his hands extremely well, that can mirror extremely well. I think
Who's
he's
that?
another stud, Josh Conerly Jr.
Oh yeah,
I think he's a
in
guy
my
that
top
doesn't.
5.
Yeah, those are him. Those are the only three. Those two guys and Josh
What is
Simmons
your
are the
take
only
on
left tackles
Membu?
in this draft to me.
What's your take on Membu?
Membu is he got some work to do. Membu is a right side guy. I think he's a better guard than tackle. I think he has the mentality he doesn't have. He's inconsistent. He's inconsistent, and he needs to clean up his
You're
technique.
right
He has to
there.
clean up his technique.
We agree there.
He has to clean up his technique, but he has high upside. He could be a dog.
If he
You can
loves
see
the game,
if he loves the game, yeah, he has to get in and put in the work. But he has the trait, he has the size to be dominant. He could be an all-pro, to be honest, if he wants to be. He has those physical traits. He has the ability. He just has to be consistent. I just see a lot of inconsistency in his game and his technique, especially. But he has the strength and the power. He wins a lot with strength and his power. Like he's a big ass athletic dude too. He's a big athletic dude. So I mean, it came a little bit easy to him. And you see a lot of big athletic dudes rely on that, but you can't rely on that in the NFL. I mean, you have to be technically sound in the NFL. You
You're
have to have
100% right.
exactly, and that's why you see a lot of guys don't make it in the NFL because they don't refine their technique, and that's why I feel like Will Campbell isn't going to be a good left tackle because defensive ends play with great technique. When they once the information is
You
out
don't
there
like
and it doesn't
Campbell
come out.
either?
I like Campbell. I like Campbell. I just don't like him at left tackle because I feel like once the information is out there, we don't get the information on arm length until the draft comes up. No one knows what your arm length is until the combine happens.
So what?
once
He
that
goes out
happens,
there and dominates and plays really great football on tape. Got
he
great.
plays great football on tape, but if
When
you
against
watch the
Will
Texas
Anderson,
game, Texas
when
A&M game, Texas A&M kicked his ass. Texas
Yeah, but
A&M, they
one
scored.
game is not.
No, I'm saying, but no, Phil,
You're-
listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is guys that know how to use their length. Once guys understand that I can beat you with my length, if I can get my hand in your chest and get around you, long arm and get around you easily, then that's what I'm gonna do the entire game. Once I figure out how to beat you, I'm just gonna continue to beat you that way. And once you start
How many times did he get
overcompensating to try to keep me from doing that, I'm gonna spin to the inside of you.
If it was a problem, there would be much more discussion about him being in a 6th round. That's the.
I don't think
That's
he's
the
that
difference.
just because he's an elite athlete. He's an elite athlete. He plays with great mentality.
Listen, when you have technique and your arms are out and you're
Yeah,
in the
great
right
technique.
position, your arm length doesn't matter as much as these guys are saying. I'm
I
sorry. it
I
just
think in the
doesn't show up.
NFL, I think it does, man. Just because
It does not
defensive
matter in the
coordinators are able.
NFL.
Defensive coordinator. There's this that once the scouting report says this guy has 32-inch arms and I have 35-inch arms, I'm not gonna allow this dude to get his hands on me. He's not getting his hands on me. And you can't beat me if you can't get your hands on me.
Get
You
his
can't
hands
stop
on
me
him because
if
his
you can't
feet
get your hands on me.
footwork,
His footwork is
top-
elite.
he
His
can
footwork
top
is
your
elite.
arm
So,
down.
James, let me ask, or James, I'm sorry, I'm talking about our
Sam.
old guest, Samo.
Sam.
What's more important, arm length or feet as an offensive tackle?
Feet is more important, but you have to be able to stay in front of the guy. But you also have to be able to punch. I think that's what Braxton Jones' problem is. He has great feet, but he doesn't throw his hands, and he can't anchor.
Hasn't been able to.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to anchor. Like he doesn't know how to sit down. So that's another guy. I don't think he's ever going to figure that out either. That's something because he can't work on it. He can't get stronger this season if he's rehabbing.
Samo, since this isn't based off one game, like you said, which I'm glad to hear because that makes me feel a lot better about you watching tape. Who else dominated Will Campbell in the SEC in his career?
I gotta watch more tape. I'm gonna watch more. I'm gonna watch more.
Well, you're not
tape.
gonna.
Yeah, you're right. You're
you
right.
can watch.
No
You
one
can
else
watch all the
dominated
tape.
him.
You can watch all the tape, and you're not gonna.
Yeah, you're right. No one else dominated him. I already feel. I mean, Shane, I'll give you that. No one else dominated him.
And
But
no
I'm just
one
saying, like I
dominated
can see
Banks.
in the SEC.
no one dominated. What Jalen dominated him that game. Jalen dominated.
Did you know that Banks played with a hurt ankle the entire season?
See, that's what I did know, and learning that made me have a different perspective on him too, because he did have a wonderful year. His last year he was a better player, and knowing that he had an injury this year and he was able to play, and he wasn't terrible. He played pretty damn good.
Samuel, who's your favorite college football team?
My favorite college football team would have to be
Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. I had no idea.
Georgia,
I had no clue. I had no fucking can't even believe it.
I mean, it's not Illinois, Ohio State, Georgia.
Are you from Chicago, bro?
From Chicago, man. Illinois doesn't have a good team. When the last time Illinois had a good team? Michigan, Illinois. Most of the people from Illinois love Michigan. We usually Michigan fans because it's Big Ten and.
Samuel, how do you feel about guys from Boston talking about the Chicago Bears?
Man, y'all all right.
But we're not from Boston, and you can tell your boy Swifty that.
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all. I thought y'all were from Connecticut, right? Connecticut.
Phil's from Connecticut.
Okay.
I'm from New York. Nobody's from Boston.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I ain't got a problem with y'all.
I respect you for coming on.
Being loud don't make you right. Don't make you right. Being loud doesn't make you right. Being loud doesn't make you wrong either. Being quiet doesn't make you wrong either. That's all I'm saying.
We're not loud. We're not loud though.
Y'all loud.
Oh no,
I respect you all because you all have conviction. You all believe in what you're saying. You study the tape. You guys do watch the tape. So I gotta respect that.
So Samuel, let me ask you this, and this is how we are on TTNL, and we get painted with that brush. Do you think that TTNL is loud, and do you buy into the myth that TTNL does nothing but make fun of Chicago Bears content creators? Talk about it.
You guys do make fun of Chicago Bears content creators.
Who? Now tell me.
So
now tell me. Now tell me who.
Now tell me who. So I go to bed every night listening to podcasts in my ear. I fall asleep listening to podcasts. I'm usually watching one podcast. Right. And I wake up in the middle of the night and something else is on. It's always you fucking guys. And I find myself listening to you guys for the next 30 minutes to an hour as I fall back to sleep. And I have heard you guys have opinions about other podcasts.
Unwarranted, Sammy or Samo? Unwarranted?
I don't know what's warranted and unwarranted. I just know it gets a little too personal for me sometimes. Overly personal. I think it can be a little bit more respectful. The only thing about it, that's the only thing I'll say about it. We all have our opinions. We all have.
You mean like when I called somebody's mom a cunt is essentially what you're referring to, right? But
yeah.
do you want me to show you the DM from your boys that said that they? No, listen. Let me finish. Because it strikes a nerve with me when we get painted with this shit and the whole your mom thing is I'm not talking about you. That thing has been a fucking thing forever, and it's
right.
I know. Guys, your buddies or whoever you Nomad and all these guys want to run with that and think that that's a real thing. But do you know where that all derived from?
I don't, to be honest.
So it's kind of important. My son was diagnosed with cancer, and this all started back in 2020.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
That's actually in 2021. I'm sorry, in the summer of 2021. That's fine. Whatever. Got through it. It all started when somebody that doesn't like TTNL, and I still have the DM here, said that they can't wait for the day that my son, that was 10 at the time, dies from brain cancer. So
that's fucked up, man. I don't know who that was, man, but that's terrible. And they deserve whatever they get.
You've been on shows with some of them.
I got kids, man. I got kids,
me too.
So I don't say about my kids.
The origination.
Man.
So we never go out of our way, Samo. Believe it or not, we've never just sat here and said, "Oh, you know what? Boom, we're gonna go at this guy." There's
Right.
always been shit said.
Mhm.
What makes us different is that we will go on air and use names. We won't
Yeah.
go on somebody else's podcast like the Country Bears podcast or whatever the fuck it's called when Swifty went on there and talked a bunch of shit about Phil and I, or
Threatening
any
to-
of that
threatening to
shit, or when
be
we had our
violent
back and
with
forth-
us if we ever
when we had
came.
our bet, yeah, if these fuckers ever show up in Chicago, whatever. Okay,
Mhm.
we were there. I was just there in November. I didn't see Swifty. That's great. So my point is just like our back and forth with Pat, the designer. We spoke our piece on Pat. Pat didn't like it. The point that we had with Pat was somebody said something about TTNL to Pat, the designer, and he's like, "Who dat? I have no idea who you're talking about." Bro, you just did an entire show about TTNL in the title.
Right.
So don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. That's
Yeah, it's too much.
that's-
It's too much of that, man. It's too much of that. I think amongst the Bears fans. I think everybody has great content. I do think that you all do have great content. I think Swifty has great content. I think the designer has great content. What somebody said about your kid was fucked up, man. I'm sorry that your kid is going
That's
through that. I
where
hope he's
all of
doing a
that
lot
shit
better.
started, though, Samo, with
Yeah.
the your mom is a cunt and all of that,
Yeah. I
that
mean,
shit. And
it would have been a
and-
lot more than that if I were you. To be honest, so I understand
sure.
what happened from there. But man, I'm just like I said, man. I don't have problems with everybody. I don't like all of the back and forth bullshit, man. I think we all argue our points. That's what sports radio and sports talk, ESPN and fucking Stephen A. Smith and Skip and all these guys are debating all day. So nobody has to agree with each other. None of us have to agree with each other all the time.
Exactly. The
You
internet's
two
a
guys
big-
don't always agree. And that's
No.
fine. You know what I mean? And I think that we all have opinions on players. We all see shit different and see different perspectives. And as long as it's respectful and we can keep it moving, because time will tell who's right or wrong. That's the one
And
good
we've
thing
been
about
right
it. You guys have hit on a few
98%
times.
of the time.
You guys
So-
have hit a few times. So yeah.
And that's
all
the
I'm
thing.
saying, Samo, I
Yeah.
respect the shit out of you for coming on.
Me too.
You're gonna
Not
have
a
to
lot of
bring
people
the
do it.
tape though, so me and you.
We're
can
gonna
have
do
our
that. We're
day.
gonna do that.
But let me give you some advice.
What's
You
up?
don't ever grade on one game, because one game does not make a career. And I'll
Mhm.
give you an example. There's a game of offensive lineman Laramie Tunsil where he lets up 2 sacks, right?
Mhm.
Bad ones.
Mhm.
Well, why did you do? I had a bad game. Turns out he lost a family member.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. When you
also
said
want
it, I
to.
remember that. Yep.
Okay, so I want to put this into perspective. If you haven't, I want you to watch what Kelvin Banks Jr. has had to deal with his mom. And
I haven't.
on top of what
Very
how
important.
he's played, when his mom is going through, she's dying. He doesn't know if she's gonna live. It's very in depth. Check it out. ESPN did a great job showing it, because not many people know that while he's playing this season, he's dealing with his mom that possibly is gonna die. So the mental side, and again, I always say Jane and I are at a disadvantage. I will destroy anybody with the tape. I will, no problem. Nobody.
I know you guys will. No,
I
that's what you
joke
guys do.
around. I joke
Mhm.
around. If I'm joking about you, that means I have respect for you.
Mhm.
Once you cross the line of stupidity, now I'm going to clown you with, this is the dumbest take I've ever. And no one's off. I love Kaplan, David Kaplan. We're friends. I will hold him accountable. He knows, and he'll laugh. And that's how
that
it
was
should
even
be.
that was even in question.
Yeah, that dude.
Our friend,
Yeah, I saw-
our friendship with David. You guys don't even know Cap. You're full of shit. Okay.
But
cool.
the reality of what I'm trying to say is the integrity that I know I carry myself with is in the title of the show. Tape Never Lies, as James was on the show and you were watching, was born when I heard all of these analysts back then when Cutler and them were playing and Leno and all these, and they're hyping it up. And I'm like, wait, let me show you the truth. And there was no debating it. And it grew 80, 112,000. I could put this on YouTube and have hundreds of thousands of views. That's not the goal for me, because my wife smartly pointed out to me, you're doing all this work for thumbs up on YouTube. No, you do it on Patreon and get paid for the 40 hours you're putting into cutting tape alone, producing it. So that's where this stuff is. And I'm going to be the most educated guy when it comes to the draft and the Chicago Bears. I called the coach out. I'm the guy that did it. I'm not afraid to do it because it's telling me there. And when we get painted, like Shane said, there's the backstory to the mother to cunt thing. I don't say that.
It's weak.
He says that.
It's fucking
That's
weak.
his thing.
It's a weak thing that everybody will see, and then they all fucking run with it because they see the reactions live on air, and we'll use names, and people don't like it. It's a weak fucking comment. And like I said, I don't give. Swifty can do his thing. Listen, the internet's a big fucking place. Everybody, there's room for all of us. There's room for everybody to do their thing, and go do your fucking thing. I just have a problem when we get painted with a fucking bullshit stroke of, you guys are doing nothing but making fun of Chicago Bears content creators. No, we're just not over in the corner jerking each other off like other places are and not using names. We'll do it live on air.
That's
so
what
I do have another question for you, Sam.
And there's no subliminals. At least you guys are direct too, so I gotta respect that part about it too. I mean, there's no
you
subliminals.
coming on is
out names.
You fit in because you had the confidence and the class to put your face to the words and not hide behind.
Oh, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared.
You don't know. There's a lot of people that do.
Oh yeah. We've sent out a lot of invites, and a lot of people. Most people don't show up. So major props. How do you feel? How do you feel about Michael Williams?
Michael Williams. I'm not a Michael Williams fan, to be honest. I don't think he has. I think he has a lot of upside. I wouldn't draft him at 10. Now I'll say that it's not that I'm not a fan. I think he's more of a project as a pass rusher. Great run, great against the run right now. But as he has a lot to learn still as a pass
20
rusher.
20 years old.
20 years old. 20 years old. Yes, but I mean he has to. But I like guys who I can see some of the handwork at least already. I want to see you be able to fight with your hands as a defensive end. I want to see that you are able to put together a move. You might not be able to do a combination of moves or counter move, but I want to see you be able to do a move consistently or have a pass rush plan. That's why I like guys like Nick Gordon a little bit better than him. You know what I mean? Because that's a guy I've seen do that. And I've seen him fly off of the edge. I like guys with bend, or guys that can be power. I think power translates. That's going to translate for him because I do think he is powerful as a rusher. So that will translate. I think power does translate into the end.
100%.
I like Williams better than Walker, man. I'm surprised.
I think a lot of people do. A lot of people do because he has the higher ceiling. I think he has he has a ceiling that can be reached. But I think Williams could be who was it that we drafted from Floyd? He can end up being Leonard Floyd for a little while. A better run is probably taking him a while before he actually puts it together as a pass rusher. That's what I think. Like Leonard Floyd is now a good pass rusher.
Leonard Floyd.
I did too. I didn't like that pick either.
I was dying.
That's how I feel about this. That's how I feel about. That's how I would feel about drafting Michael Williams at 10.
Walker in a 3-4 scheme where he's asked to be a rusher and
going to dominate,
be on one side of the field. He's not an interior off the ball linebacker. Outside linebacker, if you could do it, and then put him as a pass rusher in third downs and hope he improves and gets more tools, then I'm with you. But
I think he's gonna be a top 10 pick. I think he's gonna.
If he ever goes to the Bears, I'll lose it on the show.
I haven't seen anything about the Bears even talking to him, to be honest. So I doubt that he becomes a Bear. I think I have heard them looking at Williams, but I haven't heard anything about Walker.
Yeah, he's been connected. Well, Carolina's been connected to both Georgia
Right.
pass rushers with Walker and Williams. But what was the other one? So
my guy, you should. Damn.
So who do you have hired? Jihad Campbell or Jalen Walker?
He's got Walker. He said he's the second.
Yeah,
best.
I like Walker, man.
Second.
I like Walker better, but Jihad Campbell is a dog. Jihad Campbell is a linebacker, though. Jihad Campbell is he's off the ball guy. You know,
I
he's
think he could be
I would love to have him, to
unbelievable.
be honest. I would replace fucking Tremaine Edmonds with him. I don't like Tremaine Edmonds right now, so I
Yeah.
think Tremaine Edmonds
I really thought Edmonds would
turned
be
out to be a bad pickup. Yeah.
better than he has been, but
Me
we'll
too.
see with Dennis Allen what he
You
does.
get some legitimacy in front of the linebackers. I think probably the linebackers are going to end up looking better. Now, does Tremaine need to be better? 100%.
Tremaine has to be better. Yeah, he
100%.
now that's a guy that reacts slow to the play. Like I don't know what he was looking at last year against the run. Like he was just hesitant. You never saw him come downhill. You never saw him follow a guard to a play the entire season. It was almost like he was being coached not to do certain things. So that's how I took it, because it was too consistent game after game that I don't see how he was sitting in the film room after a game with his linebacker coach and them not telling him, like, Tremaine, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why you see the moving? What you moving? So
Samo, where did you line up at with the Justin Fields Caleb Williams debate of 2024?
So you saw the deep breath. I thought that we never saw what Justin could become. I understand why they went with Caleb Williams. I like Caleb Williams. I wasn't anti Caleb Williams. I was pro Justin, because I felt like we never got to see Justin with a good offensive line or with weapons around him consistently to see him develop. And Justin never had a good coach either. So I thought that it was just all incompetence around him and dysfunction around him his entire career here in Chicago. So I felt like we didn't get a chance to see what he could become. I would have liked to see that, and I would have went for the haul if we could have got another haul for that pick, because I thought that we would have been able to build so much around Justin that it would have insulated him and made him fail proof a little bit. But the other thing is, I know that the bill was coming due, so I think that was why the decision was made to move on from Justin more so than anything, is because $50 million was going to be coming due within 2 years if he did have a good year, and if he didn't have a good year, then what are you going to do at quarterback? So all the talk about Caleb being generational and seeing him do some stuff that you see Aaron Rodgers and that other guy in Kansas City do all the time. And hey, I mean, I think it was a good decision to move on from Justin when they did. I just don't like the compensation they got for him. I thought that they could have gotten more for him, to be honest. But
Like
we'll
what
see.
do you think they could have got?
I think they could have got at least a 3rd round pick for him, man. This is a 1st round pick, guys. You gotta be. I don't know who, to be honest. They said that there were other teams that were interested in, but they wanted to do right by Justin and send him where he wanted to go. But man, you gotta think about your team too. And get your best deal that you can get as well. So I don't know, but I'm happy for Justin right now. Going to the Jets, I think Aaron Glenn knows what Justin Fields is. He's not a guy that's gonna go through his complete progressions, and he's not that dude, man. But I think there is an offense you can run around Justin Fields and have some success. We just saw Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl in an offense that I think would benefit Justin Fields. If you have a great running game, you got a really good offensive line, and some weapons for him to be able to get the ball out, I think that Justin could do some damage. So we'll see this year what he can become.
So if you're starting a team that had a startup NFL football team, and Caleb Williams and Justin Fields were both available, who are you taking to be your quarterback?
If they both available, then you know who it's gonna be, man. It's gotta be the Caleb. It's gotta be the Caleb Williams. I think
There
Caleb
you
shows
go.
the more upside
So they
between
did
the
the
two.
right thing.
I thought Sam was gonna
But
say,
they did
"Fuck
do
it,
it.
I'm playing Jalen Walker at quarterback too."
Nah. I mean, I ain't a fool, man. I know who projects as the better NFL quarterback, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's Caleb Williams, of course. I think that Caleb showed us something last year. I know he dealt with a lot of dysfunction, and there's a lot of talk. I don't like the Ian Rappaport talk and all that shit. That's just dumb, man.
Yeah,
I think
it's crazy.
and that was even before he was drafted, man. Now it's like going back to that, it's reverting back to that. Now he doesn't work hard. Oh, he's a bad kid. I think that he is a hard worker, man. I think that he wants to be great. I think that having witnessed the success of Jaden Daniels, I think that's going to ignite something in him too. I think he wants to be just as successful, if not more. He wants to get to the Super Bowl. You know, he has to get to the playoffs this year. Like that's what I like, the competitor that he is. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that he is a competitor and he understands that he has to be better. And I think that he has to be developed from underneath the center, from underneath center. That's how you develop a quarterback, from underneath center. That's
100%.
and that's the same thing they didn't do with Justin Fields. Like you have to go underneath center. You have to get your footwork together, mirror your routes, mirror that with your routes in order to become a good, in order to see the field better and become a good pocket quarterback. Before everything else develops, you have to start underneath center. And I've said that last year with him. I said that with Justin the years before that. Like you got to get him under center more. And then the play action game works better under center because you can actually hold the ball.
You've been watching TTNL,
You've
bro.
been watching me.
Oh, man, I don't watch y'all like that, man. Bullshit.
He goes to
Nah.
bed listening to my voice.
Oh,
and
it's
yours.
embedded. I told you I've been listening at night, so
appreciate
maybe
that,
it just went through my head and it's just stuck in there.
in
But no,
there.
you guys feel the same way. But that's just how I feel about it, though. The guy does have
It's
to
the right way.
develop under center. Like that's every quarterback has to be developed under center. That's why Jaden Daniels had so much success last year. To be honest, like
100%. They understood multiplicity in formations,
Exactly.
getting advantages with formations and motions. None of that was going on here.
None of that.
No definition of run game. Oh my God! Situationally
was terrible. It was just terrible.
For years,
Terrible.
worst
For
in the
years,
league.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Justin dealt with the same thing that Caleb dealt with last year. You know what I'm saying? Justin dealt with it for 3 years. That's why I feel like Justin got a bad rap. I don't know what Justin is going to be. I do see
Did he get a bad
where
rap in Pittsburgh?
Justin I see him struggle a little bit to pull the trigger. I think Justin is more of a see it, throw it quarterback. He doesn't have that anticipatory.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, he's
And
more
when
see it, throw it. But so was
with
Jay
the
Cutler.
wind up,
Jay
with the wind
Cutler
up, and
was
the
too, though. Jay Cutler was that
100%, but
same
Jay
dude. So,
didn't wind, tap, and wind.
yeah, that's the truth. That's
The
true
ball
too. So,
tap shit. I'm okay if you're tapping the ball. There's many quarterbacks.
Oh,
The
there's a
wind
lot of
up.
them.
Pure Sanders shit.
You can't
is
have
the
a slower release
same
on top of it, right?
Tap, wind up, and
Yeah.
that's what Baldy's not saying. Like, okay,
Mhm.
now you're gonna show Baker Mayfield. He taps the ball and throws. Boomer Esiason tapped the ball. John Elway tapped the ball. The difference was they
And that
didn't
was-
go down around. They
and
went
coming back
here,
up, yeah,
tap,
stayed
and go.
up, yeah.
Dan
stayed up.
Marino, tap and go. So
Mhm.
it's not the tap, it's the timing of the tap wind. Now think about that. Boom, boom.
Yeah, the
First,
releases,
boom,
yeah,
boom.
longer,
It's
a lot longer, yeah.
that split
Yeah,
second
that makes
can
sense.
make it go, you know.
That makes a
When-
big difference too.
And you said
especially
it
in-
right there. Sorry to cut you off, but I want to give you your props. It's like he struggled to make a decision. So
Yeah.
when you struggle with your mechanics and your decision, then
Yeah,
it becomes it's
that's
the
the-
job of the coach to do
Exactly.
exactly what you said. Let's make this easier. Let's
Exactly.
scheme these fucking guys open.
Exactly.
So now we're getting under center, motioning. Oh, we got this action.
Rub
There's the
routes.
tight end and the rub. Now we
Yeah.
got him. Boom.
Can we throw a slant every now and then?
Nagy tried to
Oh
do
my
that
God.
a lot with Mitch too. That was one thing. He just there's no consistency, and then there was this big ass ego where he wasn't going to do things that were working because he wanted to be the next Andy Reid, and that's just not. You have to do what your personnel can do.
Yeah.
That's
You didn't
what
come
Ben
here to
is.
run I formation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are
Ben
you
is doing the right thing.
Are you a Tyson Bagent fan, Samo?
Hell no. I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not, man. I think that's fool's gold, man. Everyone.
God.
Yeah. But
Well,
I don't think that
I like
Case
Tyson.
Keenum
I
is
think
here to
he's
take. I like
yeah.
him, but I'm just saying he's not a
He's not
starter
putting
in
him
the
in the
NFL.
starting role
Right.
No,
like
he's
some
not
of
a
these.
starter in the NFL. Everyone's talking about, let's trade him and get. No one wants Tyson Bagent as a starter. All right, let's just keep it real.
Before we're just gonna wrap up here
we
when we let you go.
Gotta go to bed.
Yeah. If you have Jalen Walker as the second best player in the draft, who's your
Pass
number
rusher. Pass rush. I said best football player. The best, just pure football player is what I mean. Just like a guy that's just, a football. He's a pure football player. That dude is a leader. You can tell he's a leader on the field.
If you were the Bears,
first
would you
guy-
take him number one? If you had the number one pick, would you take him number one overall?
No, man, I'm not saying that shit. I'm just saying he's a hell of a football player, man. Nah, not number one, but I'd take him. I would take him.
Do you have him over Abdul Carter?
Now that's the best pass rusher in the draft. That's what I mean. So Jalen's the second best pass rusher to me. And Carter is the first, and the best football player in the draft, I think, is the guy that plays both ways. Like that's a real football player right there.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, if he's going to play
I have him
corner
as
and
a
wide receiver and be just as dominant at both positions.
I have
think
him
that's
as a
just-
better corner than wide receiver in my
I think
analysis.
so too. Yeah, I think so too because he has, man, his ball skills are ridiculous, and he has great hands too. I think he's gonna get his hands on a lot of balls this year. I think that I don't know, man. I just hope that no team gets him and tries to play him equally on both sides of the ball. I would think that they would hope that they put him
I
at
don't-
corner and then just have packages for him as a wide receiver because there is a lot of good with him as a wide receiver. Like the guy can run great routes. On third down, like a third down specialist, maybe put him out there on third downs and just allow him to, beat up on some nickel corners. So
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
We'll-
Sam, I'll give you a ton of credit for coming on, man.
Ton of credit.
yes, sir. I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate
Glad
the
you
invite,
came on.
man.
Grab
enjoyed
some.
it.
You got me. I just followed you on Twitter, so you
I'll get you
hit
followed
me
back
up.
for sure.
Get your tape cut.
I got you. I'm not even gonna cut it. I'm just gonna get that tape. I'm just gonna pull that tape. All right.
There you
I'm not
go.
even gonna
Pull the
cut it.
tape.
All
We
right.
don't want TV broadcasts. We need all
No,
22.
it's not gonna be a TV broadcast. All 22. I got all 22.
Perfect.
Yeah, I got
All
it.
right.
Yeah. All right, fellas. I
Love you.
appreciate the invite. You guys take
All right,
care.
Samo. Hey, good luck to you and keeping that 1-year-old sleeping. And my daughter was
Mine doesn't.
horrible
She
sleeping.
sleeps terrible. Yeah, she sleeps
Yeah,
terrible. Keeps
mine
me
too.
up all night. She wakes up all throughout the night, man. It's just terrible. I'm
Hey,
so tired right now.
One quick question, Phil, and
Mhm.
then we'll wrap it up right after this. Gut feeling, Bears are on the clock. Samo, who do you think is going to be a Bear at number 10? What's your gut feel?
My gut feeling, unfortunately, it's probably gonna be Tyler Warren, man. I think it's gonna be Tyler Warren. Yeah, I think they're a little enamored with the idea of having him in the 12 personnel with Cole Kmet and everything that they'll be able to do to threaten defenses. I think that is a good situation for the Bears in 12 personnel because you can run the ball really well with both of those guys. If they come out and try to play you small ball with bring out some more extra DBs. But if they bring out the extra linebackers, then hey, now we're gonna spread you guys out and we're gonna pass it. So I think that you can do a bunch of different things with Tyler Warren. I think that's what they're looking at, and line him up in the backfield and all these different things you can do in 12 personnel. It just creates a nightmare for defensive coordinators to defend, and I think that's something that you know, Ben Johnson's probably going to pound the table for if he's available. I don't
You know,
think he's going to be available. I think the Jets are going to take him actually, though.
You know what Phil's gonna say
Or
about Tyler?
Loveland.
You know what Phil's gonna say at Tyler Warren at number 10?
What's that?
Nope.
All right,
I don't
Samo.
want it to be him. I don't want it to be him, but that's my gut feeling.
I appreciate you got.
Yeah,
he gave you his gut feeling.
Hit me up. We'll have you back. We'll break down some tape and we'll go from there, man. I appreciate you coming on. Major props for stepping up. A lot of people don't do it.
All right, fellas. I appreciate everything,
All right.
man, and good luck to you and your family too, Shane.
Yep. Thanks, man.
All right.
Talk to you later,
Thank you.
Samo.
Yep,
See you
later.
guys later. We're out of here.